Wendy Bell Radio is live.
Good morning. How's everybody? What's going on? Good morning. There we go. So there's no news out there, apparently.
No.
There's really nothing going on, you guys, because it's all one thing. All one thing. And when it crashes and burns, it's going to be ugly. Do they know what they're playing with the Epstein stuff? Any person who's mentioned in any capacity, in whatever comes out, is going to be presumed guilty.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what. No matter what. No matter if they were legitimately doing something with what's his face? Jeffrey Epstein.
Or if he just mentions them in the...
Right.
That's...
If you're even a whisper, you're guilty. Guilty. Guilty of the Scarlet Letter.
Yep.
You've now been branded. Okay.
Much like a J6er.
Okay. If that's what you want, okay. It's not going to be pretty.
You wonder, though,
and by the way,
private citizen-wise, how many people are going to start suing?
And by the way, who believes that the files that are being dropped haven't been doctored? Who believes that whatever files there are that were supposedly on Pam Bondi's desk, what are they? If he didn't keep names, if there was no little black book, and we're to be told there's no video, no photographs, come on, man. What you talking about, Willis? It's like when my son Bobby tells me he washed his hands after he went to the bathroom.
Oh, Bobby. Well, they're 18 now, right?
Schmobby. No, not yet. No, he literally came home from the Steelers game and went to get into the refrigerator. And I'm like, oh, no, you don't.
Don't touch stuff I might touch.
You've touched everything at Heinz Field, Acrisure Stadium. I'm like, you will not. Let me tell you quickly about the wellness company and their product Smile. You guys know how I feel about teeth, how I feel about things that help our teeth, whiten them, make the enamel stronger. The whole erosion of gums, it's real and it sucks. Like I've got some sensitivity up here and I'm like, and the dentist, it was like, you've got some gum erosion. I'm like, what? So when the wellness company came on and they're like, you know what? Everybody up until now thinks it's about fluoride. Got to get your fluoride treatment. Everything's got fluoride in it. You don't want fluoride. Fluoride has been linked apparently to some connection with autism. Don't know if it's true or not, but that's the whisper. So when the wellness company came out, they're like, we're going to do three things. We're going to whiten your teeth. We're going to freshen your breath. And we're going to build your enamel up. And we're going to help you with your gums. I was like, let's go. And they named it something smart. They called it Smile. And instead of fluoride, it has peptides in it, right? So this is the deal, formulated with active peptides to support gum regrowth. Some word I'm not going to try to pronounce because it doesn't matter. To strengthen while remineralizing teeth, and there's something called PAP Plus to gently whiten without sensitivity. Smile helps you build a truly healthy mouth while staying fluoride free. So if you're ready to make the switch, go to the wellness company, twc.health/Wendy. Use my name and you're going to get 10% off. I love this company. You know how we feel. And I don't know why I have to beg, borrow. We have a meeting with Rumble tomorrow. I'm demanding free samples of everything. I've been asking for this stuff for how long, right? I would totally use it. Let's go.
Let me say this too. Today we are on Facebook. We're on my page. If you are watching on Facebook, get a Rumble page. We're there every day.
Yeah.
You can't come back to Facebook because they shut down our pages.
They allowed somebody to hack into it, and then they didn't allow me to fight it and get it back.
Right. So,
and it wasn't just our page. It was my private pages too. So,
everything connected with you.
Mm-hmm. Everything connected.
So if you're on Facebook and you're watching, you're like, where have you guys been? On Rumble. The only place you can actually say what you want.
WendyBellRadio.com. Go to rumble.com, put in Wendy Bell Radio. You will find us. It's great to be with you. How are we looking so far? We've got some weird cloud issues in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
which is peculiar. So certain things aren't
Certain
loading.
things aren't Twitter.
Which is super duper. I'm really excited about having more to talk about. Like this Epstein thing pisses me off. The whole thing about it is a trap. And Democrats are waiting to call the bluff. They're waiting for Republicans to flinch.
It's a news suck. It's one of those things of they're telling you about this, which there's no real information about it. Let's be honest. What aren't they telling you? That's the story. What aren't they telling you?
The stuff about saving kids.
Or, the border, the drugs.
Everything that's connected.
Yep.
Right? Everything. I'm so tired of freaking being deceived. So, if you want the truth, how are you doing? It's creepy if I stare at you a lot, isn't it?
It is.
A little bit?
A little bit.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to your daily dose of facts to fight off the liberal gaslighting.
You can be in the middle of a hurricane.
You have sanctuary in the city of Chicago.
Or you can be on a calm day. North is still north. You could be in a thunderstorm.
I am angry. We are not going back. Not ever.
North is still north. People can yell at you.
The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them.
North is still north. It doesn't change fundamental things. And in this business, right is still right, even if you stand by yourself.
We don't get fooled again. No.
Live across the fruited plain and from sea to shining sea, we're converting the Marxist left 1 hour at a time on the Wendy Bell radio program.
Hello, America, and greetings to all of you across the beautiful fruited plain. Welcome home to the Wendy Bell radio program. Hey, I don't know about you guys, but it is major time crickets out there. You can hear a pin drop because everybody is holding their collective breath for the House of Representatives to vote to drop everything Jeffrey Epstein. Okay. That's what they want us talking about today. We will briefly, but by no means is that the story. I think the story that nobody is covering is the one that they want you to avoid, to ignore, to be too busy, enraptured by all sorts of innuendo and the scarlet letter of anybody whose orbit passed within Jeffrey Epstein's. We're going to talk about how it's all connected. All the various things that we're supposed to not be talking about. It's all connected. And we're going to pull the thread. And we're going to unravel the sock, and we're going to do it here on wendybellradio.com, on the radio, on Rumble, on our website. We're delighted you're here, and we hope you come back. Welcome home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. I think perhaps the most singular, damaging global phenomena was never about global warming. It was never about planetary temperature increases. It wasn't about ocean levels or small temperature fluctuations or itty-bitty fish, right, or algae in the sea. It's not about that. It is about the crime of rampant worldwide global migration. And I say crime because it's called an invasion. When you take something that is unique, say your individual family, and you begin to bring in newcomers and you muddy the waters and the traditions change and the food, the favorite recipes kind of get fluctuated, right? And different traditions are made. Well, the original family tree is somewhat sullied. It's been modified. It's not what it used to be. It loses its history. It loses its fingerprint. The people who hate America want us to be invaded. They want you to see when you pull up at a stoplight a bunch of Muslim dudes on the ground praying at odd times of the day. They want you to see the Democrat socialists, now 30 of them, running for office in some iteration in this country, slowly taking over the sanity of America's young women because something happened to them as though they've been hypnotized. And now they've been called to action. They want to destroy the culture, the tradition, the founding fathers' view of this great nation. Destroy it. Now, I've never understood why there's evil and why evil survives by destroying the good. It is what it is. It's biblical, goes back to the beginning of our first breaths. But if you've never really believed that it's all purposeful and that it's all tied to this global compact on migration, where everybody can kind of get up and move wherever they want to go. Now, don't go and assimilate, learn the culture, learn the values, learn the history, but be a part of that original community. It's about taking your recipes, your traditions, your religion, your God with you, and pretty much demanding that everybody that you now move into the same environment with assimilates to you. And that is exactly what is happening. And all of it is predicated on one thing, and that is that open border. And did you know how long ago? I mean, it was the 2020 battle cry, build the wall. Build the wall. Stop the flow. Why was there always so much pushback? For that very reason. See, the plan to bring people who don't belong here, primarily young, right? Military age single dudes from all over planet Earth. These are not Rhodes Scholars. These are people being imported into this country for a reason, possibly to take up positions, possibly to take up jobs. We've been seeing this onslaught of commercial driver's licenses being given to illegal alien men who don't speak the language and don't know how to do the rules of the road. It's all connected. 450 missing, 450,000 missing illegal alien children. What were their parents promised before they opened up their doors and handed their children to a stranger to take a 1,000 miles journey to a strange new country? What were they promised? Why was the church so behind it? Why are they still behind it? That's curious, isn't it? How about all of these ICE pushback Democrat blue cities? Are they really pushing back against immigration and customs enforcement? Because that's what immigration and customs enforcement has done since it started. So why now? Why the pushback? Why the social security numbers? Why the driver's licenses? Why the registrations to vote? Why giving them all of these benefits? Why them draining the social services that we give money to every year to help those among us who are Americans, who need a helping hand for a period of time? Of course, they needed to drain that dry. It's all connected. The cartels, the NGOs, the lawmakers who are working with him, who will stop at nothing to put you in danger so that whatever the grift is can continue. And there are many. Migrant trafficking, child sex trafficking, the pedophilia epidemic on planet Earth that is so vile and disgraceful and despicable. And Jeffrey Epstein is like this tiny little figment. They want you to believe that they're outraged that anyone would ever think about doing anything untoward to a child. And yet we know that seems to be the currency these days. Who else is connected? USAID, right? And all of this stuff that we're supposed to be talking about right now is Jeffrey Epstein. Do you guys honestly care? I'm going to ask you. Do you want to take your focus and put it on a bunch of files released by people we don't know what the chain of custody protocol was with those documents. Who's had them? Who's doctored them? Where did they come from? From what hard drives? What computers? Are there photographs? Are there videos? Are there actual logs? And does anybody in their right mind believe that all of a sudden he just couldn't take it anymore? This uber wealthy man who's gotten out of everything in his whole life because he has collateral and, of course, the goods to blackmail. All of a sudden, he decided to take his own life in a jail cell that we saw photos of after the fact that had no shortage of 20 different sheets in it. Were they trying to allow him to choose what thread count he wanted before he fashioned his own news? Or was there something else? You know darn well. The people who are desperate right now for you to pay attention to one thing are very interested in you not understanding how they've gotten rich, how they've been working with the cartels, how they need people driving trucks in order to move goods, whether it be humans, drugs, or otherwise, how it's all connected to the rampant homeless population, how Antifa bubbling up on the streets might be the go-between, the dealers between the cartels and the permanent homeless class. You can't fix a problem, right? Lest your money runs out. It's all freaking connected. And they tried to do this in 2016, but you stopped them. Do know that that's why they hate you. The left, the deep state, the uniparty, call it what you will, they hate you. They hate me. Why? Because you said, by showing up on one day, not on my watch, not in my country, not while I'm here, not my legacy, not the story I'm giving to my children. Absolutely not. And they had to come out in force to make sure you didn't do it again. And they fudged it up. They went so far, they gave Joe Biden nearly 81 million votes as though we were going to believe that. And then when it was so preposterous and so no way, they needed January 6th, the ultimate smokescreen. Cue all your media outlets selectively editing the president. Enter 274 undercover federal agents, fire some smoke bombs, and let the media tell the story. An insurrection, you don't say. So, pardon me if I'm not getting my unease in a bunch over Jeffrey Epstein. Dude's been dead for 6 years. Enough is enough. You want to release it? Release it. They want waves and waves of news. More smoke screens to cover up their own criminality, which, oh yeah, all boils down and is connected to the open border. That's just me at 30,000 feet. What do you think? When we come back on the Wendy Bell Radio program, President Trump demands the release of Tina Peters, who she is, why it's important, and what can of worms she opened up yesterday. My. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. That's my take. Catholic Church is dirty as balls, guys. Dirty. It's probably not just Catholics.
Well, the grift.
You
They
need
had a huge grift.
You need overarching do-goodery. Salvation is for the Lord. Bend over. I don't like disgusting people. And people who prey on children are about the most vile there are. Okay. So, I don't know about you guys. I've never held, aside from, I don't know, gold jewelry or what have you. I've never held gold. And this is just such a beautiful coin. This is a 1 ounce gold coin from 1878. I mean, I'm going to hold it super close. Let's see if it'll focus. There we go. Look at that. 1878. What? This is how gold and silver comes to you from Texas Bullion Exchange. Look at all of the packaging. Everything is certified. Everything is documented. Everything has a story. How many people touched this? I don't know. But it's mine now. WendyLovesGold.com. WendyLovesGold.com. Of course, they could say, well, Wendy, you know what? That was minted in 2020. We just put 1878 on it to make it sound old. And I'll be like, duh. WendyLovesGold.com. Wonderful company. They teach you something. Every investment has a story. And if you want platinum, gold, silver, palladium, they've got it all. And they tell you about it. They teach you about it. You learn, you grow, you figure it out. A great investment strategy. Diversification is key. Bing, bing, bing. 855-927-5557. 855-927-5557. WendyLovesGold.com. And there are wonderful incentives if you call and you talk to them about it. Super exciting stuff going on at Texas Bullion Exchange. WendyLovesGold.com.
Twitter's back up.
Oh, thank you. Phew.
They were down for about an hour and 15 minutes, though, which is nuts.
Yes.
Which we won't be on today because I have to reconnect your account. And in StreamYard. I don't want it to mess anything up.
Yeah, so that's why we have 9 people watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to knock it out of the park there today. How do you do on Facebook? Was ever a scapegoat / whistleblower. Her name is Tina Peters. Tina Peters, she's an American. She's a grandma. She's a mom. Her son died in a tragic parachuting accident, military, 2017. Considered gold star mom. Just awful. She was the Mesa County clerk in Colorado during 2020, during the election. And she witnessed some stuff and got completely embroiled in this. Well, she got basically thrown in prison to keep from talking. And she identified problems with the Dominion voting systems in her neighborhood, in her community. And she blew the whistle on that. And what ended up happening was she got basically flipped around and hogtied and accused of trying to help President Trump rig or throw the 2020 election. Look, there's no way anybody with half of a brain in their head thinks Joe Biden won that election. There's just no way. There is no way when you're recording votes for a candidate to lose as the votes are coming in. Lose votes. They don't go down. In no world in election tabulating do votes go down except on election night of 2020. And we watched it with our own eyes. Now, Tina Peters was one of the few voices who stepped forward and said, hey, I see some stuff. She got access to one of the machines, shared some of the information with people, and then she got snarled in this whole election fraud, trying to help Donald Trump overthrow 2020 nonsense, and was basically thrown away like a January 6er. Shh, you're not allowed to talk. We need to put you somewhere where you never will. Welcome to prison. Sentenced to like 8 or 9 years. Ridiculous. She's not doing well. Trump moves her out of some lockup into a federal one. So I guess what he said yesterday, and it's pretty big, he drops this truth saying, hey, we need to release Tina Peters. Free Tina Peters. Donald Trump yesterday a brave and innocent patriot who has been tortured by crooked Colorado politicians, including the big mail-in ballot supporting the governor of the state. Let Tina Peters out of jail right now. She did nothing wrong except catching the Democrats cheat in the election. She's an old woman. She's very sick. If not released, I'm going to take harsh measures. Now, this is interesting. So yesterday on the War Room, like this posts yesterday. Is this yesterday on Steve Bannon's War Room? I don't know. I cannot tell you that definitively. But it's Tina Peters calling from prison, calling to Steve Bannon's show. And she's got some very interesting things to say. She's talking about Colorado Secretary of State, Jenna Griswold, who, if I'm not mistaken, fancies herself governor material, and talks about Jenna Griswold making public the Dominion voting machine passwords for 63 of 64 Colorado counties before the 2020 election. Does anybody think that is odd? Listen to this conversation. Tina Peters in prison.
Subpoena Mike Frontera, Dominion's lawyer, but they found a way to not let us have our witnesses. What Jenna did, though, that since at least June, those BIOS passwords, 670 of them, from 63 counties out of the 64 counties in Colorado, have been on the public website for the Secretary of State, which means they were out there for anybody to grab.
Anyway.
She should be locked up, and they should throw away the key and let me loose.
Yeah, we need a prisoner swap.
Yeah, for sure.
So you think that this election in Colorado is definitely compromised because of the leaked passwords?
Oh, always.
Yeah.
I mean, in Mesa County, they were finding fraudulent ballots. They were finding the same person was signing the ballot envelopes, and they brushed it off like it was nothing. As a matter of fact, what Jenna Griswold did with the passwords, she knew while I was going through the trial that was out there and did nothing.
So those passwords were leaked out there during your trial before your sentencing?
They were out there since June, but she knew about it and didn't tell the clerks about it. And now she's apologizing to the clerks. She should apologize to the American people, or at least the people in Colorado. But there are other passwords besides just for Colorado, I've heard, for the United States in there for Dominion machines.
So you think some of our other elections in other states could be compromised because of leaked passwords for the Dominion machines?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what's going on with the cartel in Arizona and Michigan.
Whoa. That's what's going on with the cartel in Arizona and Michigan. Wait a minute. It feels like it's all connected. Yeah, because it is all connected. Yes, it is. And that is why the Jeffrey Epstein story is so not a story. Isn't it funny how Dominion came out gangbusters? We're going to sue anybody who even whispers our name. Then Dominion gets bought by somebody and it's kind of repurposed with some name, Liberty. It's all so dirty. It's almost like everything was rigged, and anybody who stepped forward and said anything about it ended up getting accused and thrown in prison. Huh. It feels so weaponized, doesn't it? I mean, like, that's just me. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, Trump says release the files. Do it now. We're watching the House next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. She released the passwords to the machines. Anybody could have gotten in there and compromised those files. I don't know how that happened. Are they connected to the internet? No. Do you have thumb drives? No. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't you dare look at our machines. Where are your chain of custody logs? What? We had to keep those? Come on, man. We're not stupid. Blood Flow 7, you guys. I'm just going to say it's getting better. There's apparently a new product. My trusty guinea pig next to me here is going to be trying it because it's for men. And I'm super excited because I know how I feel about Blood Flow 7. And I'm telling you this right now, it's going to be the best with shipping. It's probably $30. 1 month supply of nitric oxide. And you're like, I don't know what that is. I didn't either. Until I took it, then all of a sudden I was like, Shazam. Nitric oxide is a molecule, and what it allows is your blood vessels to open up, your arteries to open up, blood to flow more freely. And when you get blood like all over your body, it's amazing what it does to your focus. It's amazing what it does when you're feeling fuzzy and like, what? It's like, it's amazing what it does to your stamina, to your strength, to your wanting to get up and get stuff done. If you're one of those people who hits a wall or feels kind of malaise during the middle of the day, oh no, not with this. And it's good. It's so good. And you'll sleep like a baby. ED is something I will not stop taking. I love it and I will buy it. Long after they're like, you know what, we're done advertising with you. You're boring. I'll be like, oh, can I still have it?
You don't even wait. You already ordered.
Can I still have it? Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. It's honestly, well, I don't even know I have to say that because I tell you the truth. The real deal. The real deal. And this new product, I don't know, Brock. It's all about you, I guess.
I guess we'll find out.
It's called Alpha Gold Male. Alpha, how you doing? We'll see how it goes. See, because you were doing Sculpt Nation.
Yeah.
And then something happened. I don't know if he got the guy behind Sculpt Nation, if he made a deal with somebody that made all sorts of other deals, whatever. But this might be something that you might really enjoy. I'm looking forward to it. Huh. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have going on? This is a big week for Brickhouse Nutrition. This is Brickhouse Nutrition's big sale, Black Friday sale, 30% off everything in the store. That includes Lean. This is their best-selling #1 weight loss supplement. This is what they do. The Field of Greens is like the #1 superfood super drink with every fruit and vegetable in the universe squeezed into it. And each one is made whole organic vegetables and fruits. They're all hand selected, including turmeric, ginger, green tea, and ginger for inflammation and all sorts of other benefits. Hand-picked ingredients to specifically target specific parts of your body, Field of Greens. They have other things too. They have a creatine product called Creatone. And it's really designed just for women to help you look leaner in shape and toned without extra dieting, without shots and stuff like that. Everything they have, and of course, Lean is the big one. 30% off, from better sleep to superior collagen. It's 30% off. Brickhouse Sale. One word, brickhousesale.com. And you're going to use, I don't even think you need a promo code.
No.
That's just a straight up, how you doing? All for you. Anyway.
By the way, we hit 74.5.
That is very exciting, you guys. We have 500 to go. They hit 75. If you have not clicked yet to follow us, it's right next to, right underneath the video box. And then, of course, the Rumble button. That helps. 2.08. All right, we're on track. Do you want me to try to add it?
No.
No. What is that?
Do you want to risk it?
Maybe. Or maybe for a day we are not on Twitter and people have to find us. I'll play hard to get.
Oh.
Hello, Sherry. Hi, DL. Let me see. Hi, LDL Rapier. Darius. Ray Carr. Hi, Jumpin' Jim. Hi, Tilt. What's going on, Beverly Boss? Hi, Ginger. Stephen G. I'm not going to talk to you until you do something. Hi, Miss Molly. Yeah, isn't it funny? That's true. 1, never mind. 2, how wild that Dick Cheney basically croaked and nobody really paid much attention to it. Really not a whole lot. I mean, the flag's at half staff, but it was sort of like me, right?
I will say, if you have not gone to X and seen Wendy's monologue from last Saturday. Look her up on X. It's a good closing monologue.
It might be
And
why
I
I'm
noticed you said, "Oh, Dick, Durbin."
They didn't, I mean, to their credit, it just could be that they're getting ready to fire me, which could be the case. The contract, I'm not so sure, is getting re-signed, which is fine. Like, whatever. They've been good to me. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. So let's talk about what we're supposed to be talking about. Let's talk about where we're being lured off of the path. You and I are traveling a path of enlightenment, of honesty, of unraveling so much garbage, of finding the truth, each of us with our own story, right? About when we woke up, about when you started to see the cracks in the story, when it all started to fall apart, the water started shooting through, and you couldn't close your eyes and put the genie back in the bottle. You were awake. Whatever that time was for you, the deep state right now is telling you, no. You don't want to talk about that. You really want to be talking about Jeffrey Epstein. This is huge. And the idea is to create this scarlet letter that then you paint all sorts of various people with who are going to be, I guess, exposed as documents are released. If the House does go forward and say, hey, release the Kraken. President Trump said, let it go. Release all this stuff. I don't care anymore. Get past it. Do what you got to do. This is that piñata that long ago stopped bearing candy. Stop trying to beat it. It's pulverized. So we're watching. They want us desperately talking about that. And then anybody who's even remotely affiliated with that can be somebody we can all say, ooh, well, I bet you that person was with Jeffrey Epstein and those girls, right? It's so dangerous. It's such a dangerous, disgusting time. But they see this as the next big thing to create smoke for a while. So U.S. lawmakers set for explosive vote on Epstein files. This is from Breitbart. Expected to advance a bill today, some point, whenever they show up for work at the House, requiring the release of government records on sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. So, the thing that's wild about Jeffrey Epstein. So here we have a guy who's uber wealthy. As part of the allure. Most of the allure is his wealth. He's one of these elusive characters. Nobody really knows what he's good at. What does he do? How does he make his money? What's his thing? Wasn't he Bernie Madoff's scribe? I think he was part of that whole pyramid scheme generation. And he ostensibly connects wealthy people, and I'm sure it's not just old white dudes, to young, attractive, some of them underage women. Were they all underage? I don't know. I have no idea. And he created this sexual environment, ostensibly, where the devious man can be satisfied at the expense of young women. Now, it's curious that the Democrats have their hair on fire over Epstein, but they have absolutely no interest in finding the 450,000 illegal alien children who the Biden administration lost during their 4 years in office. Where'd they go? Do they care? Because if you care about underage women, that's ostensibly what we're caring about. And the powerful people who believe they could get away with it. You have to care about human trafficking. You have to care about human collateral. And yet, the Democrats push back against all these initiatives that the Trump administration is putting forward, ICE or otherwise, to find the kids. So what is it? Can we all agree that sexual deviance and pedophilia are vile, despicable, and criminal? Because that's where I am with all of this. It's not just rich people getting away with it. Because those children many, have been put in situations that I'm not so sure we'd sleep comfortably ever again if we knew the truth about. And yet they want to fall on the altar of Epstein. It's all so curious, don't you think? After weeks of resistance, behind-the-scenes pressure, and frenzied lobbying against making the material public, Trump threw in the towel on Sunday. Now, see, it's curious, too, that Breitbart, which is a well-known conservative website, has farmed out this very personal American story to a news source called AFP. Do you know what that stands for? Agence France Presse. It's a news service from France, and they provide stuff to all sorts of media outlets. So why are you farming out this story to a French news agency, Breitbart? It's so weird because the bent on it is so anti-Trump. The House of Representatives looks all but certain to advance the Epstein Files Transparency Act, compelling publication of unclassified documents detailing the investigation into the disgraced financier's operations and his 2019 death in custody. Lawmakers say the public deserves answers. Code for lawmakers hope you are distracted, paying attention to the smoke as they add more kindling to the fire of deceit. So we could go on and on, whatever. So it says 1,000 alleged victims. And that's what we're all supposed to be getting behind. Don't you care about the girls? Do you know what they did to those girls? Yeah, why aren't you equally as outraged and mortified by what happened to all these illegal children? Oh, that's right. Thomas Massey's response to the whole thing, he's the guy behind this push, tells you it's all political. It's a bad look for Massey. Oh, Thomas. Massey on Trump's Epstein Files U-turn. He got tired of me winning. Do you guys think winning is about this information coming out? Because if it's a game, if we're scoring points, like you and I are playing tennis, and now we're like 40 love or whatever, that's disgusting. Because the shutdown wasn't a game either, but the Democrats and the Republicans were jockeying for who really lost. Well, you know who lost was the American public, as is always the case. The real collateral damage, it's supposed to be the people we care about, the people they think that we're caring about, but we obviously don't care about. Thomas Massey wanting a victory lap, which I think is absolutely disgraceful. Representative Thomas Massey borrowed some of the president's own language in response to Trump's recent change of position on files linked to the convicted sex offender. Did he really change his position? He said, drop it. It's a dangerous nothing story. The dude is dead. We have work to do to save this country. Stop freaking falling prey and gumming up the works and slowing down the machinations of what this administration is doing. We only have 4 years. Finally, Trump said, screw it. Release the Kraken. And may God be with you. Right? He got tired of me winning, Massey said Monday in an interview, according to Politico, mirroring comments made by the president in the past. On Sunday night, Trump urging House Republicans to vote to release the files, yada, yada, yada. President's announcements come amid indications that a vote this week on a measure to release the files might have won numerous Republican votes in spite of Trump's opposition. Okay. All right, he's tired of me winning. This is Thomas Massey. It is a political game, tit for tat. He hates Trump. Trump doesn't like him. So what is this? It's a lot of grown-ups acting like children, which is why I say, don't fall for it. Meantime, ... Here's Senator Chris Murphy in his audition to the progressive deep state. Please don't put a Democrat socialist challenger in my next race. He says, you know what? Trump is clearly at the center of a child sex ring. Say what? He might want to be really careful. Slander is actionable. Here is the senator. Listen to this.
It is clearly the biggest scandal in presidential history. And he wouldn't be acting this way if he wasn't so deeply worried about what sits in those files. What we've already seen is immensely incriminating. Clearly, Donald Trump was at the center of a child sex ring. That is heartbreaking, that the President of the United States was involved in that kind of gross, craven immorality. And it stands to reason that he wouldn't be fighting so hard to spin against this story or bullying Republicans in the House to prevent the release of these files if there wasn't something especially and specifically incriminating in that information.
Chris Murphy, sitting senator in the United States of America, says clearly Trump is at the center of a child sex ring. Are you sure, Senator, that you want to make such comments? Because I know for a fact that yesterday on CNN, a panel was really quick to stop this guy. I guess his name is Toure. He's some podcaster that they had on the panel. And he's trying to say, yes, everybody knows Donald Trump's dirty. He's a pedophile. He's involved in all of this stuff. And CNN's clearly got the litigation message from the lawyers at the network saying, you can't have people saying that. Dude will sue us for everything we've got. Here's the sound. Here's the proof.
You don't care that the president might be a pedophile? You don't care that the
pedophile.
You don't.
No evidence of that.
No, there's no evidence of it, but that's what. No, it's not saying. That's what we've been talking about all week.
There is no evidence of that. We're not going to.
No, but that's what the emails have been talking about. That's what we've been talking about all week. That's why he doesn't want to release the files. And to say that nobody cares is kind of absurd. If the president is a pedophile, we should know about it, and people would care about that.
Right. No one is suggesting that President Trump is a pedophile.
Yes, you are. You're all suggesting it. It is guilt by innuendo. It is guilt by paintbrush. The big S on anybody's chest. While the real scumbags and dirtbags and pedophiles that are invading our country, abusing children, right? Getting our young people hooked on drugs, perpetuating a homelessness crisis, the likes of which we can't imagine, right? Is able to go basically unabated underneath their noses. Nobody's calling him a pedophile. There's no evidence. Then why are you beating this like a dead horse? It's insane, somebody said on the set. CNN got a little talking to. I'm sure all of the networks worried of the BBC-ish multi-billion-dollar lawsuits. We don't want to be next. Are you kidding me? We're barely surviving because your guys' ratings suck so bad. Shut your pie hole on pedophile stuff. Really? It's also interesting to watch at 30,000 feet. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, the rush to say, I'm sorry, I really didn't mean to, begins with Larry Summers at Harvard. I'm stepping away from some of my commitments just to not be a distraction. Dude knows he's on the list. It's all coming out, apparently, next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. We know. Bill Clinton, come on, we know for a fact that he was banging underage girls. Come on. Right? Come on. But it's okay because it's Bill Clinton. We know that it's the crime family grift, the Clinton Global Initiative, but it's okay because it's a Democrat. Yeah, well, I don't know. Oh, failure. This is it. This is the magic. This is the secret sauce. This is the drink that gets me going through the day. This is the thing that I drink while I'm working out with my trainer, Mary Beth. This is the thing that I love. This is how Dr. Gundry lost 70 pounds. Can you imagine with like moderate exercise, you're changing how you're eating, to say we're all going to do that. Change how you're going to eat, so you're not going to have double burgers and fries every day. We're going to pare that down. And maybe one of your meals every day instead is a scoop of MCT Wellness, thehealthyfat.com, in a nice, delicious, sparkling glass of water. And maybe over the course of the next several months, because of the changes you make, none of which are drastic, you lose 20 or 30 or 40 pounds. And then what if you continue for maybe another month or two and then you lose 50 pounds? And then you're like the young lady who is emailing me who's done so well losing weight on this. She's going for 100 pounds in a year. It's a pound every 3 days. It's freaking amazing. MCT Wellness, thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. I love it because it's delicious. I also love it because I don't get hungry for about 4 hours after I drink it. Wonderful. If you want to lose weight without the shots, without the sacrificing everything, go to thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. It's a nice little promo code for you there. I think you'll like. It's delish. I love it.
Someone says, can you mix it with whiskey? Beverly Bosky. Why would you want to taint the whiskey? I mean, really?
Yes, you can. Yes, in fact, yes, you can.
But why?
But why?
Oh.
Chris Murphy better watch out.
Well, see, I don't know if is he protected by the Congress thing, or is that only on the House floor?
I don't
he wasn't
know.
on the House floor.
I don't know.
See, they make so many rules for themselves that I personally think that's why Eric Swalwell does all his stuff outside.
Because there's rules about being on the premises?
Yeah, I wonder if that's the rule.
Could be. I don't know. But he's giving some, like, to the Texas Tribune, Chris Murphy was giving some interview. So, I wouldn't say those things if I were you, bro. Just going to say, how's the rumbling? Let's see. I'm going to hop on over and see how you go. 7,800 watching, 2.48. Let's get to 277. And click that thumbs up. No, click the follow button too. We're at 74.5.
Yes.
I personally think we could get 75 by Thanksgiving. And our goal is by the end of the year. Well, welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. If you're just joining us, we're talking about the thing that we're all supposed to be talking about, which I really don't want to talk about because I think it is a Pandora's box. I think it's akin to taking a rock and chucking it at a hornet's nest and cutting the thing in half and waiting to see what comes out. I think there are a lot of people who could be sucked up in accusation. I think a lot of reputations could be damaged. I think many innocent people could be brought into the suck of this tidal wave. But Trump says, release the files. And so at some point today, we expect the House of Representatives to go ahead and do exactly that. Now, I kind of hope it happens in some ways because I believe the Democrats are trying to kind of call a bluff. They're kind of playing chicken with this president and with the Republicans. I say open it if you feel like this is how you're going to move on, right? Well, it's curious that already we've seen Prince Andrew be he was excommunicated by the royal family, King Charles, basically saying you are persona non grata, you are stripped of your title, you and Sarah, Fergie, you guys are stripped. Good luck, Godspeed, bye-bye. Why? Because Andrew was banging young chicks with Jeffrey Epstein, and everybody knows it. It's the only reason why, guys. I mean, logically, Larry Summers now from Harvard. He's coming forward. He's going to try to nip this bad boy in the bud. Hopefully slip in underneath the news cycle. I hope it goes away by tomorrow. Summers to step back from public commitments amid Epstein scandal. Reading this from the Crimson. The Harvard Crimson, of course, their paper. Former Harvard President Lawrence H. Summers will step back from all public commitments in an effort to rebuild trust. Listen, how does that rebuild trust? I'm going to avoid your questions, right? And that's going to help us rebuild trust. Because if I don't talk to you, hopefully you'll forget about me and then my life can go on as it is. He's going to step back from his public commitments in an effort to rebuild trust and repair relationships with the people closest to me. The announcement comes less than 1 week after 7 years of correspondence between Summers and disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein were released by Republicans on House oversight. The document showed Summers and Epstein continued to exchange messages until July 5th, 2019, just 1 day before Epstein was arrested on new sex trafficking charges. Epstein, the scapegoat, while so many other people were doing it. I'm deeply ashamed of my actions, and I recognize the pain they have caused. I take full responsibility for my misguided decision to continue communicating with Mr. Epstein. So apparently Summers is a paid columnist at Bloomberg News. I wonder if he's going to continue with those duties. He serves on the board of directors at OpenAI. A spokesperson for Bloomberg declined to comment, of course. While continuing to fulfill my teaching obligations, I'll be stepping back from public commitments as one part of my broader effort. Broader effort to what? To stay away from scrutiny, to avoid questions. I'm so guilty, but I don't want to lose my title and my stuff, like my professor stuff. Like, I still want everybody to think I'm all that in a bag of donuts. So out of the good, a greater good, I'm just going to step back from some of these things. And I'm going to fall on the sword and just say, you know what? I understand this is very delicate. And I don't want to add any fire to the inferno. What a willow. Larry Summers has announced he's stepping away from public comments immediately. A spokesperson for the group, the Center for American Progress, where he was a fellow until he resigned. What's coming out, of course, is going to be much worse than I think what we think. I love how these people try to tell you they're doing something because it's in the best interest. You know, I've thought long and hard about this, and I just think it's better for the people who are involved for me to pull myself out. I'm still going to make money over here teaching at Harvard. I still really like that the young co-eds are looking at me. I mean, come on, I am Larry Summers. I am all that. But I know this whole thing with Epstein's coming pretty hard, so I don't want to answer your questions. Okay. Who's going to come out that's going to surprise you? Ellen DeGeneres? Oprah Winfrey? Barbara Streisand? I don't know. Will they? Tom Hanks? Diddy? Who else? I don't know. Will you believe every name that comes out? Anybody who's a whisper? Is that where the media is now going to spend all of their attention? Because, you know, if they pour over whatever documents come out, if the House says yes, it's more time to avoid paying attention to the story right before their eyes, which is the theft of America, the invasion of our culture, the invasion of life the way our founding fathers envisioned. Right? When we come back, hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program, my friends, from the same FBI who told us Epstein killed himself. Right. Are we supposed to believe that Thomas Crooks was just some rando nutcase? Just some kid who wanted to take a shot at Donald Trump? Really? Right. Next. Oh, Larry.
Durbins.
Oh, Dick. Durbin.
I laughed whenever you said it.
This is the time, guys. Chef IQ, Chef IQ, Chef IQ. The IQ sense Look, there's time for you to get this bad boy delivered to your house. All right. And right now, everything site-wide, chefiq.com is 30% off with my name, Wendy, as the promo code. I mean, that's just, we both bought something because of that. So when I say that we're not just sellers of their products, we're lovers of their products. This is the Chef IQ Sense. This is the 3-prong. They have a 1, 2, 3, and a 4. And so if you're making multiple things, maybe you're making turkey, maybe you're making duck, maybe you're making whatever, and you just take the prongs, these programmed to your phone, insert it into the meat you want, follow the prompts on your phone, time to flip, time to take off, let it rest. Okay, internal temperatures, A-okay, time to carve, bon appetit. That is the extent of your cooking. Is that fabulous? Yes. You don't have to worry about blowing the $50 tomahawk. You don't have to worry about botching and making too dry, or God forbid, the turkey isn't cooked all the way through. Who wants pink, juicy turkey? I don't. Chef IQ. IQ Sense. 30% off. Everything there. It's great. It's a great company. We love it. ChefIQ.com. At promo code Wendy. It's just such a great system. I can't wait to use it for my turkey. Ryan is making the turkey.
Is he using it?
Ryan said, do you know what my son made last night, Jack? So we went into the strip district, which is our like kind of, how do you describe the district? Like wholesale food?
Yeah, different kinds of foods that you can't get.
Lots of culture. So you get Indian food, you get Asian food, you get all kinds of ingredients. All the restaurants shop there. It's really fascinating. And so we bought at the fish market, we bought a couple pounds of raw live mussels, and we got 2 packages of octopus. And
Did you get any scallops?
And Jack made the most phenomenal mussels. Our house smelled like a freaking restaurant. And he marinated this octopus in this, whatever the bejeepers it was. And then he flash pan fried it. I mean, I don't even think there was anything oil in the pan. He just took it from the marinade and put it right on a hot pan and kind of like flash browned it. And it was off the charts. I was like, really? Really? Yeah.
Now you have to cook dinner tonight, and it's going to be
so, yeah, and it's gonna,
wah.
yeah, exactly, and I'm gonna be like, okay, sorry. So Ryan said he's gonna, but he doesn't want to stuff the turkey. He's like, nobody likes stuffing. I'm like, I love stuffing. What are you talking
What
about?
is he talking?
I know, and I'm a complete purist. Like, I know people get fancy; they put raisins and stuff.
No,
it's stovetop.
You know what Kate's grandma puts in it?
It's got to be stovetop. It's the only thing. What?
Pieces of turkey in the stuffing. Oh.
Well, she mixes it after the turkey's done.
Yeah. No, I don't think she stuffs the bird.
Okay. So yeah. So then
right.
she mixes
so she
it after.
makes it on the side, bakes it on the side with pieces of turkey.
Shut up.
It's like a whole meal in itself.
If you put gravy on the counter, I will bend it. I love gravy.
Gravy
on French fries, on potatoes, on meat, on bread, on anything, on a shoe. I'd be like,
on a biscuit.
Biscuits and gravy.
Oh, country fried
eat...
steak.
Oh, stop. That's so wrong. All right, you have to hit Rumble if you love our food talk. 2.7, we're 70 people away.
You know where I wouldn't put
gravy
put it on
anywhere.
Brisket.
No.
Especially when you get the first 5 pieces.
Hey man, I offered it to you, and you're like,
no, I was waiting for I was being polite. I was trying.
I wasn't.
I know you weren't.
Whatever.
You had some before me. Schmalby had a piece
Ireland
before
contracting
me.
coming out a week from tomorrow is my day for Ireland contracting to come out. I'm super excited. And I love Dan. So Dan Ireland comes out. Ireland contracting, 1-800-NEW-ROOF. One of the nice things about living in Southwestern land before time is Ireland contracting. Dan comes out to my house. He's familiar with the house. So he comes out in the backyard. He's like, wow, you got some new landscaping. I'm like, yeah. And so before the ground freezes, we're hoping to get some stuff back here. So he's looking around. He's like, okay, what are you thinking? I'm like, well, I'd like some uplighting. Got some trees. Maybe we could uplight those. And some things that are small, like low profile, because Murphy runs around and
Your
I don't want
flag?
him to bonk him. What?
You getting your flag done?
No. Well, we have to see what we can do on that side of the yard. So anyway, he takes his camera and he goes, "Meh," and then he opens up his notepad and he's like, okay. Take some pictures. He's like, okay, what else? I was like, okay, well, we can go to the front yard. He's like, okay, let's go. So we walk to the front yard. He's like, yeah, I can see. Okay. All right. I'll shoot you an estimate about what I think we're going to be doing, and you let me know if it's what you think, and we'll get you on the books. Okay. Good to see you again. Take care now. And I was like, I love you. I love you. He wasn't like, well, I'll come out at night and we'll look at that. No, he's like, I know what you need. And then if I don't like what he does, he'll fix it. 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. I mean, like, pew, the best. All right, 70 people. Did we get there? No. Yes. Look at you. What?
By the way, I got to fit this in. Happy birthday to my brother.
Hi, Tom. Happy birthday, you old bag.
Well, you really can't say that.
Yes, I can.
Not as old as you.
I understand that fact. That's why I can say it. I resemble that remark.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family. She once hosted a 3-hour show in just 15 minutes. She once intimidated the Electoral College to audit itself. Her monologues are so sharp, they're considered a concealed carry weapon. Fact-checker sites routinely issue her a retraction a week in advance. Even her commercial breaks trend on social media. Her freedom of speech has diplomatic immunity. She doesn't just drain the swamp has to ask for cab fare. Wendy Bell is the most interesting conservative woman on radio. Keep rumbling, my friends. 3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live. Remember, 6 million people have downloaded our podcast onto their devices. Wendy Bell radio, super easy, just rolls off the tongue and the fingertips when you go to your favorite app store, wherever you're going to get all your podcasts. Get us on your phone too. We're so delighted you're part of our family. Isn't it amazing how so many of these stories that just don't make any sense at all are shoved down your throat? Like, there's nothing that makes sense at all about the 2020 election. There is nothing at all that makes sense about the insurrection, January 6th, nothing. There's nothing at all that makes sense about the attempted assassination of President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. There's nothing. None of the storylines, none of the breadcrumbs that have been deposited along the way make any sense. And so that is why a story like Jeffrey Epstein has to come around, and they have to add kindling to it. They have to keep that fire going so the cauldron is always kicking out smoke. So you're like, I can't see anything else. And they're like, good. We don't want you to know what we've been up to. Does anybody honestly think that Thomas Crooks was just some weird kid who just hates Donald Trump, and so he decided to try to kill him? I mean, like, that is such a jump, right? That is such a giant leap. This does not happen in a vacuum. And yet our FBI, Secret Service, are like, well, I don't know what you want us to tell you. We got nothing. We're like, wait a minute. You got nothing? For real? Because that smells terrible. So what aren't the Secret Service and the FBI telling us about the attempted assassination of President Trump in July 2024 at that Butler Farm Show complex. Well, they didn't want you to know that there is a trail of digital clues that Chris Wray, who was then head of the FBI, who was called before Congress to testify, this whole trail of clues. And he's like, no, we've looked. It's just the weirdest thing. Daggone it. I have no idea why nobody saw that guy on that sloped roof. Is so weird. And then like hosing off the area, dragging away his body, never to be seen again. Like so not normal. Well, I'm sure it's nothing to see. Let's move on. Did you hear the one about Jeffrey Epstein? So Miranda Devine gets some bombshell whistleblower person dropped on her, right? And she's the one who wrote The Laptop from Hell, New York Post. And I trust her very much. So she drops this stuff, and I want to read you a little bit about this, because nowhere in Christopher Wray's testimony before Congress, shortly after this whole thing happened, did he say that Thomas Crooks had 17 different online accounts. And they had very weird behavior. There was this weird about face in this dude's life that doesn't add up. Up until the date of December 2019, Thomas Crooks loved President Trump. He thought it was great. And he was pro everything Trump was doing. And then all of a sudden, in January of 2020, and this is right about the time that Trump is being impeached the first time, Crooks makes this complete hard turn and becomes a devout hater of Trump. Something happened to him. Somebody got to him. Somebody offered him something. Somebody did something. This doesn't happen in a vacuum. And Chris Wray tried to tell us, no, we really didn't see anything. Nothing weird at all. Next. Okay. So America deserves the truth. Well, Miranda Devine sat down with Caroline Leavitt, you know her, press secretary, White House, on her podcast, Pod Force One, I think it's called. And I want to read a little bit about what Caroline Leavitt said about why President Trump, as well as we, are frustrated by the lack of transparency about anything about this kid, Thomas Crooks. American people deserve answers about what drove Thomas Crooks to attempt to assassinate President Trump. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told the New York Post after a damning report emerged, suggesting the gunman left a trail of digital clues that the FBI did not previously share with the public. Those questions are definitely deserving of answers, and I understand why the public wants those answers, and I believe the president does too, Leavitt recently told Miranda Devine on Pod Force One. It's a good question, and it is one I'd like to see the answer to. I think all Americans would. Leavitt's comments came as Devine dropped a bombshell report in the Post Monday. It's not bombshell. This is exactly what they do with everything, right? Something so overtly wrong, you pay attention to it. The media comes out and tells you, no, that's not really what happened. It's this. And then they go after anybody who tries to tell the truth, a la Tina Peters, a la anybody who's like, I was standing right next to the guy. That's totally not what happened. Arrest him, throw him away into the gulag for life. You know, this is what they do, right? Crooks' motive. Why did he do it? Why? Why some guy from southwestern Pennsylvania? Why some kid who looks like basically any other kid going through, I don't know, what was he, 20? Going through bad skin, greasy hair. I mean, it is what it is. But except he did his with an assault rifle and a freaking drone that he flew over the farm show complex. Don't try to tell me that this is just, well, you know, he's an enthusiast. He's a hobbyist. He loves those drones, that Tommy boy. He was working with somebody. Who's he working for? CIA? Would you guys be like, no, of course not. Of course you'd say, but yeah. Why did they want to kill him? Well, the deep state wanted to kill him. Of course. Look, I could sit here and go over all these crazy things about Thomas Crooks and his social media profile. They want you to believe that he got into the they, them pronouns and enjoyed furries. I don't care about the guy's sexual preferences. I want to know who was working with him. I want to know how his parents, who could barely scratch 2 nickels together, were able to afford some white shoe corporate lawyer representation. I want to know why they incinerated his body so quickly. I want to know why all the evidence was washed away. I mean, for heaven's sakes, Scooby and Shaggy, for heaven's sakes, no, that isn't what you do. He was working with the deep state, in my mind, my humble opinion, to take out Donald Trump. How else are you going to protect the grift that you've already been greasing for years? Look, 2016 was supposed to be Hillary's turn. It was supposed to be Hillary's turn to open up those floodgates. Yes, pour the people in. They were delayed by 4 years to open up the borders and to bring in all of these people from around the world, to set up shop, to set up drug cartel and human sexual and other servitude slavery. Yes, to work in conjunction with blue cities, blue mayors, blue governors, all of those who are refusing to give information to the USDA about simple stuff. How many people in your state are getting SNAP benefits? We're not going to tell you that's an infringement of rights. No, that's the people's money. And we want to know where it's going. And when you don't want to tell us, and then you create some huge story to look over here instead, we know damn well what's going on. Thomas Crooks was obviously working with our government or a government to kill Donald Trump. Isn't it amazing what they've thrown at this guy? Trump's always at fault. Trump's doing this. Trump's the one. Trump's a pedophile. Trump hates people. Trump, blah, 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 blah. The one guy who's been accused of nothing and successfully prosecuted for it and found guilty and punished for it is Donald Trump. And yet again, back to your smokescreen du jour today, we're not supposed to be talking about Thomas Crooks. We're not supposed to be talking about potentially our government working to kill a political opponent. We're supposed to be talking about Jeffrey Epstein and the people who had sex with underage girls. You see, though, right? I see. So this New York Post story is very interesting. There's plenty of time for you to read it if you so choose. But I think the thing that's most interesting is that it refutes Christopher Wray's testimony before Congress under oath, in which he said, you know what? I got nothing. I don't know, Thomas Crooks. We haven't found a daggone thing about him. Who knows? Well, Trump suggests ex-FBI Director Chris Wray could be the next deep state thug to be indicted. Oh, isn't that interesting? President Trump posted a series of messages to Truth Social Monday suggesting former FBI Director Christopher Wray could soon be indicted for lying under oath. Get out, did he? He shared a meme of Kash Patel peering through binoculars at Wray, ex-FBI Director James Comey, and Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi, with a green check mark on Comey's image since he has already been indicted. It seems like Pelosi and Chris Wray are in the crosshairs, but Wray is next. And Trump posted this: Wray lied. Wray lied. He also shared a Truth Social post he made in September that detailed how Chris Wray lied under oath about the FBI placing agents into the January 6th crowd. Does anybody actually feel like Chris Wray and the FBI were going to give us any actual details, any truth about Thomas Crooks, for whom he was working and why his cell phone pinged in so many unusual spots? Why would a young dude with poor parents be traveling to Washington, D.C.? How would he have a drone? How would he have an explosive device in his vehicle? How was he able to climb up on top of that roof? Did nobody see him, or were so many people who were supposedly protecting President Trump in on it? How many people knew? Wasn't secure. And they knew it. Yeah, I don't think we hate these people enough, my friends. But make sure you guys keep talking about Jeffrey Epstein. That's what you're supposed to do. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, let's talk about this. You guys hear what happened in Chicago? Chicago, right? Murders and madness and violence and craziness. And now a property tax hike. Oh, Brandon. Oh, my, people are ticked. Next. Like, I could read you all of the crazy things that this whistleblower told Miranda Devine, but it's all over the place. You can read about it. The whole thing is that you're not supposed to have common sense. You're not supposed to stand back and be like, you realize that that's absurd, right? You realize that. You realize Larry Dunn testifying before the January 6th committee and saying as a black police officer that all these MAGA people started chanting the N-word at him. And I'm like, that is so bullcrap. It's not even funny. How many MAGA people do you know who just randomly just start chanting that word at people? Come on. Lying sack of crap. Anyway, I've got nothing after that. What were you reading and deeply engrossed in?
I think you're done with coffee.
Mm-hmm. Why?
You're wired.
I am?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Why? Do you think I am?
No.
Oh. Then why did you say
I was
that?
just saying stop drinking coffee.
Oh. No. I did go out and get a tan.
Yeah.
It helps. Moves the needle an awful lot. Morgain's Fitness, MORGAINZ fitness.com. I want to talk about them. And then the next break, we're going to tell you about Body by AIM 360 because there's apparently a statute of limitations on the special that they're offering. We got to talk about that. Deadline's upcoming. So Morgain's Fitness, if you live in Somerset or Cambria counties in Pennsylvania, this is your golden spot. This is where you get your body back. This is where you walk into a gym for the first time in your life and feel at home. Even if you've never been in one, you know nothing about the machines, nothing about how to do it. That's where you want to go. It is wonderful to understand your way around equipment. Even better to have a pro talk to you about how to lose weight, firm up, lose inches, gain strength, gain muscle, and change your life. Morgain's Fitness, MORGAINZ fitness.com. I think that's the first step. Absolutely the first step. I mean, granted, it's taken, 8 months?
Yep.
Look at that.
That's nuts.
Where does it go? That's a lot of skin. Don't you think that once you have skin, it's kind of hard to lose it? Right? Wouldn't you think? Is that the benefit of being young? Jerk.
Wow. Yeah,
Congratulations, you jerk. I'm a little feisty today. I know you guys can tell, but
that's all I was saying.
Is that right? Because I've got this. Is that what is that? What is that? Oh,
we still haven't hit 3K.
Oh my gosh. How you doing? I know. I got one more sip. It's the Shizzle blend. It's so good. CrescentMountainCoffee.com.
Did we tell them what we decided to do?
No.
About the proceeds?
No.
That we talked about?
I've forgotten now too. So.
Oath Keepers.
Oh, that's right. We're going to give it to the Oath Keepers. It's a good call. I likes Thomas Crooks. Okay. Right? All right. We got some stories yet to get to that are kind of nutty. Are told is going on, and so many of the things that are just randomly covered by the news are completely preposterous. And it's almost like we've become numb, and so we don't even push back anymore. Like your quiet mind is like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. But because it's all dumb, you've become numb to how dumb it actually is. So for instance, in my beautiful city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the Steel City, the people in my neighborhood decided to vote for a socialist to lead our county. We have a mayor. But the individual county, Allegheny County, one of the most corrupt in Pennsylvania, thank you very much, they decided it would be a great idea to hire some young woman with zero skills who's a socialist, right? And then guess what happened on day number 1? Our property taxes went up 33%. What? For what? For what? What are my property taxes costing more for? Where's the money going? I don't see it. Our roads still suck, right? There's a new dead carcass on the highway leading to work. I saw it today. A new Marcus the Carcass. That'll be there until next summer. There's garbage all over the place. Property taxes for whom? For schools? How's the school system working? Is that great? We're graduating a lot of wonderfully talented and capable people. Not. Well, I thought I had it bad in Pittsburgh. Then there's Brandon Johnson. The biggest low IQ schmuck ever, next to possibly Zoran Mamdani. But no, he's worse. So apparently, the property tax bill in a relatively poor and extraordinarily dangerous area, several areas around Cook County, are seeing their property taxes going up quite a bit. Apparently, there's a little problem. There's a little budget deficit. We're not going to change things. Here's audio soundbite number 1 from CBS Chicago.
Many Cook County residents are reeling today from a whopping property tax bill that came out late and much higher than expected. Chicago's south and west sides are seeing some of the biggest increases. Our political reporter Chris Ty has more on why downtown may be to blame and what some residents are doing about it.
The pain is real here in North Lawndale, where property tax bills are going up on average 98%. In West Garfield Park, it's up over 130%. And one of the main reasons why is because of what's happening or not happening over there in downtown Chicago, where in the Loop, they've collected 129 million fewer property tax dollars this year than they did last year.
Oh my goodness. And that means some areas that are dangerous are seeing property tax bills going up by $2,000. Listen.
My property taxes went up 75.86%. And so
Richard Townsell of North Lawndale has a friend who saw his jump 237%.
My wife and I, we had a budget meeting last week as we were looking at this. You know, does that mean maybe we don't take the vacation we thought we were going to take?
Thank you all for coming. A frustration that this weekend led to this bill burning, led by the Lawndale Christian Development Corporation, which he is executive director.
It was a Boston Tea Party kind of moment where it's like taxation without representation. What do we do about this? Not just whine about it.
One idea is to lobby for a state law in Illinois, similar to one in California, that caps property tax hikes at no more than 2% a year. Consider Englewood residents saw an 82% jump this year, an average of $609. In North Lawndale, it was $1,900, and in Garfield Park, it was $2,000.
Oh my goodness. So pray tell us what's causing this property tax hike.
The problem, County Treasurer Maria Pappas says, is what's happening downtown.
All these high-rises, commercial buildings that you see downtown are unrented because the businesses have left the city. So somebody had to pick it up, so the residences are picking it up.
Hello? McFly? Hey, Chicago, your government hates you. You vote in bad people. They chase out business. The business takes the money. The property taxes don't get paid. And you fill the shortfall. Congratulations. Hey, New York, you're next. LA, you're next. Oh, my. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, it's all about smoke and mirrors. How much did Benny Thompson's January 6th committee spend to put out that made-for-TV movie to con you into believing January 6th was an insurrection? Oh, strap in for this one. You're going to be lunging next. So they're like, we just don't know what to do. I think we just need to try to cap it. No, you don't vote for bad people. You don't vote for people who suck.
I just hope ours didn't see that report.
Literally, I walked by Bob, my liberal neighbor, and I'm like, you're jackass. Thanks, jackass, for you and your liberal do-goodery. I hope you're bending over and taking it. Because, oh, by the way, when our little roundabout area floods now, because they fiddled with all of the, the traffic patterns and all of the plumbing. So now whenever we get like a good clip rain, it's like all underwater. I'm like, good job. Good job, Pittsburgh. Way to go. Oh. You know what I need? There's really only one option.
Calm.
Yes, stop. Get out of my head. Calm. I wonder if it'll help. Healthy Cell. Let's see the ingredients. Soothing herbal extracts, vitamins, and adaptogens, including ashwagandha, something called 5-H something TP, HTTP, I can have my glasses on, and L-theanine for relaxation and occasional stress relief. Wow, absolutely, I'll try one. Berry lemon. Isn't this so much nicer than taking a Xanax? Okay, so little did I know that the reason why it's in a microgel form to get to your supplements at healthycell.com/Wendy is because your body absorbs it faster in that form than if you try to break down pill. So you're getting more, basically, for your money. And there's calm mood, heart and vascular health, joint health and mobility, focus and recall. There's immune super boost. This is going to be big. This is the big one for cold and flu season. Don't even muck around with it. One of these a day, please. You've got a force field, baby. Healthycell.com/Wendy. I love this company, right? I'd love to tell you that I take calm all the time, but I don't. I take focus and recall. That's my jam. Love them. Healthycell.com/Wendy. So I'm even peeking ahead to next week to see if we have any new people coming next week. Got a couple things in the works for you guys. Hey, you want to tell them about the Second Amendment commemorative gifts?
The Second Amendment commemorative gifts have been finished. I'll be getting them on the Thanksgiving weekend.
These are, tell them what these are for people who aren't familiar.
AR magazines, logo on one side. This time it's the Clarence Thomas quote on the other side.
North is still north.
Yes. For the people who complained that they didn't get the first series, we're only putting out 50 of the first series. So you'll see WBR Second Amendment commemorative gift series 1. There's 50. There's no more.
It's not out yet.
It's not out yet.
We'll put them out probably the Monday after Thanksgiving.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Monday or Tuesday. And then the second one, we had 250 made. When they're done, they're done.
So then we're going to take Gary Varvel's artwork, which he has graciously given us the rights to use. And we're going to make cartoons, mugs out of the cartoons. I think that both of us, I think it should be the one that you have. I think they both should be on there.
We'll put, I think we should put yours on one with North is still north on the other side of it. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I think that we should kind of do what you created. I don't want to be the only one on it.
Why?
Because it's both of us.
No.
Because it's both of us. Look, I'm already famous. I don't need any more. No, I think that
no, that people ask for it, so.
Yeah, I know, but I think we should probably use the design that you created that you gave me for Christmas.
Well, it's going to be on a white mug because that's the easiest way to do the sublimation. So
we're working on it. And we're also going to be dropping for women.
For the ladies.
I have a different shirt that I like that I think that we're going to make. that I love, and it's going to have a very discreet Wendy Bell logo on it. And the back of it will probably put in peace. Not black, but maybe something that's soft. We'll figure it out. It's my favorite shirt ever.
It is.
And so I was like, I want that shirt.
You made some phone calls to find out where that shirt was from. And thankfully, it's the brand that we love, that we used for the sweatshirts and the T-shirts now.
Hair all over the place here, guys. Sorry. So very exciting stuff. And then
but that won't be out till next year, so we can't get that out before Christmas. And maybe a throat punch mug. That's in the works.
I'm going to say something, and it's going to seem so logical to many of you. I know it's confusing because so much that you hear is just garbage, demonstrable garbage. But if the Secret Service and the FBI on January 13th of 2024 or July, I should say, excuse me, had nothing to hide, why would they hose off the crime scene where Thomas Crooks was? If the January 6th committee had nothing to hide, why would they spend so daggone much money putting on a theatrical production for everybody and his brother to fall for the shtick they were desperate for you to buy, right? If 2020, if the election of 2020 was so safe and secure, why did the deep state go after anybody who whispered even the slightest of impropriety or malfeasance, odd behavior? All of those mail-in ballots that oddly, I know it's so weird, had no folds, no creases, no nothing. You mean to tell us that these were mailed in? Yep, they were mailed in. Okay. It's also insulting. And I think that's the point. To dumb you down to the low IQ brain power of the deep state right now, which is just scary. So this specific segment that we're talking about now, I want to talk about the January 6th Select Committee. Like, if you're going to do an investigation into something, right, and you're going to whip it up and you're going to make it, this is a big deal. Are you going to stack the committee with people who are empathetic to your side? Or are you going to do everything you can to basically obliterate even the slightest suspicion of impropriety or bias? You would. You'd be like, look, we're going to even Steven. We'll get 4 Republicans. We'll get 4 Democrats. You know, maybe because the House is run at that time by the Democrats, maybe we choose a Democrat to run the committee. But you don't personally cherry pick loser Republicans like Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger to be on the committee and try to pretend that it's bipartisan. It was a witch hunt, and it was a cover-up, and it was a smokescreen. It was a depository of all things like that were destroyed. All of the interviews. I mean, you guys remember Cassidy Hutchinson, the star witness, Mark Meadows, chief of staff, who alleged, I saw the president lunge for the steering. Can you see Donald Trump lunging for anything? I could see him lunging to protect Melania from a sniper's bullet. But other than that, I'm not really thinking so. And so when you look at the entirety of any of these subjects, they're so ridiculous. They are so unbelievable. It's as unbelievable as Thomas Crooks just being some zit-faced goofball from southwestern Pennsylvania who was like, I'm going to go out and kill the president. I mean, it was all planned. It was purposeful. I mean, come on. Enough. You don't need a committee and a presentation to convince people, because people know the truth. And when you try too hard, it's like, oh, I don't know, having a ghost phone, multiple aliases, pseudonyms, shell companies, multiple family members around whom the proceeds of whatever your corruption is making get scattered, right? And yet none of these things ever involve Donald Trump. It's all meant to stop Donald Trump, who seems to be like the only guy who's not trying to screw you over and lie to you. Right? So let's talk about this January 6th committee. Do you guys know that they're given an X amount of money? There's a pool of money, right? And if you're going to be on a committee, you have to have some funds to be able to investigate. Okay. I want to read you this story because it's just so absolutely preposterous. It's a John Solomon piece from justthenews.com. January 6th panel cost twice what the previous estimates were, hiring TV producers to dramatize the attack. Does that right there, without knowing anything else, do you honestly believe January 6th was some moment that just bubbled forth? It was organic. Oh, no. Here we go. The U.S. House Select Committee that investigated the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol cost almost twice as much as previously reported. Why would we tell the truth? Just raise everybody's taxes like they do in Chicago, including spending taxpayer funds for TV news producers and documentary filmmakers to create videos dramatizing its case against President Donald Trump, an investigation by the Center Square found. How is this any different than the Steele dossier? We have to spend money to create the illusion of impropriety. There is no impropriety, so we have to create it. God, it's got to suck to be a Democrat. I mean, can you imagine being one of these dirty people and wanting so desperately to take down Trump, but you're like, damn it, I can't find anything. Got to make it up. So he wanted hookers to pee on him. Right. I mean, like, really? The Washington Post reported that the panel had a projected budget of $9.3 million. $9.3 million in September of 2022. According to review of a U.S. House disbursement form, the Select Committee spent, you guys ready for it? $17.4 million. $17.4 million to convince you that Joe Biden won. To convince you that Donald Trump was desperate. He didn't want to leave office. He loved it. He loved being impeached. He loved being accused. He loved it all. And he wanted more. And he wanted to overturn that election. I'll tell you what. And he had people like Tina Peters out there trying to. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Come on. Come on. It's as dumb as Joe Biden, like, I can't close the border. That takes an act of Congress. I mean, like, really? Because it's not all connected, right? $17.4 million to put on that smoke and mirrors BS. They wasted it. This is U.S. Representative Troy Nehls, a Texas Republican who's now on the new committee appointed by House Speaker Mike Johnson to actually investigate security failures on January 6th. It wasn't security failures, guys. It was purposeful. Right? Nancy Pelosi was warned and asked multiple times, we need more National Guard. National Guard was within eye shot. We could see you. I can see you, National Guard people. They weren't allowed to take weapons. They weren't allowed to have body armor. Why? When they were finally released to go to the Capitol to help what had already been finished. Do you guys believe anything anybody tells you? And do you see how the snowball gets bigger and bigger and bigger to cover up the dumber and dumber lies? So they wasted the money. It was a sham committee. Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, it was a joke. The president of policy and government affairs of the Taxpayers Protection Alliance, a guy named Dan Savikas, said that more than doubling of the budget was not appropriate. Like, I want to take some of these people who are writing these stories too and be like, was not appropriate? How about was completely egregious? How about it's indicative of the addiction to spending other people's money that our government has? Just ask Chicago, whose tax bills just went up $2,000. What? The median budget for a House committee is $6 million a year. So for the January 6th committee to spend $17.4 million, that's excessive. I can think of a lot of other words for it that aren't as benign as excessive. How about freaking mind-blowingly ridiculous? Benny Thompson, the Mississippi Democrat and chair of the committee, declined an interview request. Really? He did? The same Benny Thompson, the walrus, right? Who's like, what? I wasn't supposed to delete all those files? What? I wasn't supposed to get rid of the terabyte of emails? What? I'm sorry. I didn't know. Bullcrap. Come on, man. It's no different than all of the people in 2020. Where's the chain of custody logs for your ballots that don't have signature verification, that don't have timestamps, and weren't folded? Oh, I was supposed to keep that? This is the story that the deep state wants you to believe about the United States of America. That if they stand up and they say something and they make it look professional, smoke and mirrors, we're going to bring in producer. Hey, we'll put on some makeup. Maybe there's a wind machine. Woo, we're going to put out some videos and the drama. I thought I was going to die. Right. And then the Larry Dunn, the black cop, who's like, they called me the N-word. Oh my God. And everybody's sitting back going on, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, that is where they think you are. That is where the deep state believes you, the American people, are. That you're too stupid to see. You're too disconnected to pay attention. You're too busy just trying to make ends meet on your own. I mean, after all, it is the holidays, and that is Jeffrey Epstein we should be talking about, right? But see, what they don't understand is the majority of you are not flashy in your face MAGA talkers. You're not outside discussing all these things with people, but inside, you know everything is wrong. And so we voted to make it right. And this is one of those stories that will unravel. It will be disgusting. You will see the degree that our lawmakers don't give a fat rip about your money. It's an endless blank check. How much shall I make that out to again? Just ask Chicago. Make it out to Brandon. Dark Brandon, right? $17 million. Make it make sense. And so now Epstein, hopefully, they hope, is going to have enough juice. Hopefully enough legs. Maybe we could limp across the finish line. Maybe we could beat the piñata for another year. And we could still get an election cycle out of it. Midterms coming up. Let's go. No. You're dirty. America knows it. We know all of it. And it's just a matter of time before it all comes out. It's going to be a lot of people besides Joe Biden with that little asterisk next to his name in the World Book Encyclopedia that reads, disgraced. Don't you think? When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, you got to make this make sense. You got the governor of Massachusetts appointing a new person to the Women's Commission, a new person with a penis. Thank God. But he wears really nice fake eyelashes and fake nails. I'll explain next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. You know what? I think I'm going to get into stuff with you. And so I've got this article pulled up. And then it hits me how ridiculous it is. Like, I only got like 2 paragraphs into that story about how ridiculous it is. It's ridiculous. What's not is how you can enjoy a very special offer for a limited time, thanks to our friend Dr. Dubiak at Body by Aim.
No, that's gone. It ended Friday.
Oh, I thought you meant it ends this Friday.
You didn't read the whole message.
Did you send it to me while I was doing this?
No.
Oh,
you sent it to you a couple breaks ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry. In the midst of a show. Oh, got it. Got it. So what? It's over?
Yeah.
I wonder who called. I wonder if he got good feedback. $99. Body by aim360.com. I'm telling you what, that's how Brock lost his 70 pounds. He's losing more. Have you weighed yourself lately? Mm-mm. Why would we do that?
I didn't want to get on a scale. I had beer this weekend.
You had a beer.
Yeah. And a cocktail.
So, that's crazy. Simkovich Concussion Institute. Simkovich Concussion Institute. I just think that writing down the phone number makes so much sense. Because there's going to be a time when you're going to be like, what did she say? SimkovichConcussionInstitute.com. 412-366-3700. Get fixed. If you've had a brain injury, you know you're not right. I mean, you might not know how wrong you are because you've probably developed workarounds, but you've got to get help. And our guy, I got a guy. I don't have many guys. He's my guy. And he's so good at fixing people. So if you've suffered an injury, a concussion, some kind of a traumatic accident to your head, and you're not well, you can get well. You can be made complete again. Without surgery, without needles, without cutting, without blood, without the hospital. SimkovichConcussionInstitute.com. Call and speak with them. Ask about their advanced protocol, where they immerse you for several days in a row so that your healing happens more expeditiously and you get your life back. Sounds good to me. 412-366-3700. The testimonials I get there are just, holy moly. Well, then you should probably handle that next time.
I think we're just talking about the staying healthy for the holidays.
Mm-hmm. What day is Thanksgiving?
The 29th?
Oh, God. No. That's Thanksgiving.
It's the 27th. 29th, I'm sorry, is that Saturday?
So the governor of Massachusetts, Maura Healey, has appointed a man to a women's commission. It's now just dumb. We've crossed well past the threshold of unbelievable to now just embarrassingly dumb. Why ever? It would be like, it would be like USA Today choosing, a man as the woman of the year. Wait a minute, didn't that happen? Oh, yeah, that did. It's almost like we've been here before. Breitbart.com, Massachusetts Democrat governor appoints male transvestite to women's commission, but I really love what he's done with his hair. Governor Maura Healey appointed a transgender identifying male to the Massachusetts Commission on the Status of Women. What she just did is put on a boot and kick every woman in the ovary. It's insulting, and I don't care if she's gay. Do you really care? Do you care if your governor is gay? Do you care if your mayor is black? Do you care if it's a woman? Or do you care that they're competent? that they actually do what they say they're going to do, that they care, that they have some plans, that they have some kind of God-given skill and talent, that they do one of something, that they try harder not to suck. That's what I'm thinking. I'm a basic woman. I mean, I know. This is absurd. Healy, one of the nation's first elected lesbian governors, don't care, appointed a man named Giselle Bird. His name's probably Gabe, right? Gary. We'll call you Giselle. I'll live in your fantasy. To the commission, he's now the vice chair of the agency's Programming and Planning Committee, Outkick reported. I mean, this is the dumbest thing. This Massachusetts Commission on the Status of Women. Like, what even is that? Because if that's anything other than the effort to get men out of women's spaces and to stop the delusional, farcicalness called transgender morph into whatever you want and play the victim card and be elevated for it, think Will Thomas, then I don't know what we're doing. The Massachusetts Committee or Commission on the Status of Women. Well, I can tell you the status is poor if you have somebody with a penis on the panel, right? It's an honor and a privilege to be able to serve alongside my fellow sister commissioners as the first transgender woman of color on the commission. And I'm so excited for the journey that we will take together, Bird said in the appointment. He's laughing at you. This is what drag queen story hour is. They're laughing at you. It is a mockery of the female experience. Because according to this dude who believes in Fantasyland that his name is Giselle, he thinks that if he puts on a wig and has some acrylics put on his fingernails and wears garish jewelry and fake eyelashes, puts on a padded bra and maybe some Spanx, that he's part of the sisterhood. Is that... Are you tired of that, Massachusetts? Because I would be. Healy appointed Bird on August 20th, an action that's gained more national attention after blowback from conservatives and women's rights activists. What? Democrats have daughters too. So where are all the Democrat dads? Like, where are you? What happened to you? Did you go on vacation? Because every single man who pretends to be like your daughter is a slap in the freaking face to your daughter. And, by the way, to your wife. Do we now have, like, black people on white commissions, honorary white people? Can you imagine if we did that? I'm going to join the NAACP. You don't know it, but I'm going to join your brotherhood. I look white, but I identify as black, and therefore I demand my opportunity to live my truth on your commission. Why not? Well, that just wouldn't work. I mean, everybody knows. Oh, I got it. Look, until we stop allowing crazy, until we stop negotiating with crazy, until we stop giving crazy oxygen or a seat at the table, it's going to continue. It's going to continue. More men allowed by white, liberal, whack job chicks to trample over the female experience. It's disgusting. It's predictable. And by the way, then we have Donald Trump who's trying to do actual things to move us in the right direction. The choice couldn't be more clear, and it all comes down to that. In fact, hour number 3, which is right on around the corner here, did you hear what President Trump said? He said he would talk to anyone. I'll talk to anyone. Apparently, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, about whom Trump has called, well, he's called him a narco-terrorist. Maduro is saying, you know what, maybe we should talk a little bit. Really? I want to talk about this because it's all connected. Take you back to the border next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network.
All right, so I took care of it.
Oh.
I sent a text. This is what's great about our sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
So the sale is extended today and tomorrow.
Oh, nice. We did it.
Yes.
All right. Body by aim360.com. $99 blood panel, 65 biomarkers. They tell you all of these stories about you and your body that without that knowledge, you're kind of like winging it. You're blind in a windstorm trying to figure out what you should eat and why you're not losing weight. This isn't working. What is it? Sometimes it's as easy as a hormone level being wacky. Sometimes it's as easy as adjusting your diet and adding a supplement. Sometimes it just is. And that is what's so brilliant about this. Dr. Dubiak, if you were to go to your PCP and say, I want to have a blood test me for all these 65 things and all of these other hormone things too. What do you think? They'll be like, first of all, insurance will never cover it. Second of all, you're going to be paying a couple grand out of pocket. Dr. Dubiak has a relationship with the lab that would be able to do this for you. And he says, come on in, call me, 412-227-9277. Go to bodybyAim360.com. and talk to us about this extensive blood panel just in time for the holidays, what it can do for you today and tomorrow. $99. I'm not so sure it's going to be that again.
Yeah, I don't know. I just texted him and said, hey, people want to know why it's not today and tomorrow too. He's like, extend it. We'll do it.
You know what that is? I will say that is beautiful. And it's also about our friend who owns Sniper.
Yeah.
So when there's an issue or whatever, he's able to text us. And again, that free shipping going on. Can you imagine a small business owner realizing his small business isn't so small because of you guys and how much you bought of disinfectwithsniper.com?
Bought him out.
Bought him out. Had to go back to like the well, back into the back where they're mixing the Kool-Aid. He's like, we need to kick it up. He's telling like the Keebler elves, kick it up. Let's go. We're going to take on Amazon. Everybody's like, what? He's like, yeah, no shipping. Say what? You want to give no shipping when people want to ship like 8-pound gallons of Sniper? And he's like, I do. And he is. So if you haven't gotten your fix for the holiday, now is the time. Disinfectwithsniper.com, the best. Keep your body, keep your home, keep your life clean. Got a lot of people coming into your house. It's a great way to just neutralize an environment with a lot of visitors or fingerprints or what have you. Don't even have to wipe it off. Takes care of things for you. Love it. So Newsmax is offering me to fill in for Ed Henry on Thanksgiving. No. Love you. No.
Well, you got your own show.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can't get off, then you should get off.
I'm an asshole.
Uh-oh. What'd you do?
Nothing about you. No, it's fine. See, it's a holiday week, right? So he's like, can you fill in Wednesday and Thursday? Well, Thursday's Thanksgiving. I have a house full of people. And Wednesday, I have my own stuff going on, getting ready for Thanksgiving. I can't do that. I mean, earlier in the week, he's like, so you could Monday or Tuesday? And I'm like, now I want to help out. It's contractually, I'm supposed to help out when I can. So I will, but.
What time is that show?
I don't know.
Is it live?
Yeah, probably. I kind of prefer live shows.
Yes.
They're done. Even if it's horrendous.
Yeah, you can't, yeah.
People are usually very forgiving. Well, maybe not. I always tell them, stay. Don't leave. This is when it gets good. Okay, so this whole drug stuff, I think we all know what's going on with this. It's all connected.
Mm-hmm.
Done that, did that, did that. Isn't this... Wouldn't that be funny if I'm sitting here promoting a gold coin from like 100 and...
Oh, boy.
for like 140 years ago. And I'm like, I have no idea how many people touched this coin back in the day. And they're like, yeah, that might not be the case. But I think it is. I don't think you can change the date. You don't think you would mint a coin, would you? And then put the wrong date on it? Seems deceptive.
I don't think they were thinking about it in 1860, whatever.
Look how pretty that is.
Let's do this so Wendy in 2025.
That's not what I'm saying, dippity doober. But this is it's super valuable. I'm gonna find out.
Someone's getting pushed down the stairs.
Let's see. How much is gold 1878 $20 coin worth today? See what it says. Ooh, yes. Oh, very pretty. The value the value of an 1878 $20 gold coin, specifically the Liberty Head Double Eagle. Oh, Double Eagle. In 2025 varies significantly based on condition, and I love perplexity. In circulated condition, prices typically range from about $4,200 to $4,500.
Oh, you're getting pushed down the stairs.
For uncirculated or very fine specimens, values increase substantially. From 15,000.
Show's over.
From 15,000 to over $50,000, depending on rarity and grading.
The show is now over.
Specific
Wendy will
mint
not be
marks.
available tomorrow.
Wait a minute. Specific mint marks that say CC for Carson City can drive prices much higher, sometimes exceeding $100,000. Where is it? Damn
If that
it.
says CC, there will be no show tomorrow.
Oh my goodness. Wait. It's so small, I can't see.
I'll look at it.
No, you won't.
Accident after the show.
To save America, one show at a time. Are you ready to get on board?
You told us when it could be time to panic. Well, is it time to panic? Well, let me just tell you, folks, it's never going to be time to panic because we're never going to give up. We're not going to give up on America. America's worth it. America is worth fighting for. America's worth not giving up. And while we have that attitude of not giving up, we are constantly going to be searching, strategizing, coming up with ways to prevail. We've got the basics. We have millions and millions of Americans that are fed up, can't wait to do something about it. There will be a series of ideas that people come up with based on dealing with the fraud that we know we have to deal with. You're not alone. You're not a singular individual all by yourself out there trying to fight these people by yourself. There are 74 million plus and growing. We're not going to give up on America.
From sea to shining sea, 3 hours of bold truth and excellence. The Wendy Bell Radio Program.
Welcome back. Hour number 3 of the Wendy Bell Radio program is live. Now, if you missed hours 1 or 2, it's a great opportunity to remind you of the Wendy Bell Radio podcast. Everything gets carved down, whittled down, no commercials, no interruptions. It's about 39, 40 minutes an hour. Get it wherever you get your favorite podcast just by dumping in our name. And what we talked about from the very beginning was this notion that all of the stories and all of the deep, dark, slithery, snaky, gross things going on, from drugs to human trafficking to all of it, open border, it's all connected, right? And when you're bombarded with a variety of stories, it's hard to see how they are all on the same trajectory, or at least in the same orbit, until you consider what's going on now with President Trump. So the military has moved the USS Gerald Ford into this strike formation outside, really parked off of the coast of Venezuela, which is very interesting. There are a bunch of other ships, battleships and whatnot, that have also taken position, sort of like a show of force. I wouldn't even think about it, is what it says. This is who we are. We are the United States Navy, and we're here to make sure the drugs stop flowing into America. Do you understand, President Maduro, who President Trump has called a narco-terrorist? All of a sudden now, after 21 lethal kinetic strikes, neutralizing something to the effect of 82 odd alleged narco-terrorists, trying to boat fentanyl, cocaine, what have you, across the sea to ultimately land in America. We've got now all of a sudden Nicolas Maduro, president of Venezuela, saying, you know what, I kind of wouldn't mind hanging out with Donald Trump. I wouldn't mind having a conversation with the president if he'd be willing to talk to me, which is kind of an awkward thing. I don't know how you do that. Because President Trump put a $50 million bounty, ostensibly, on the head of Nicolas Maduro. Not to kill him, but to have him arrested and prosecuted for, apparently, being a narco-terrorist. No, not me, says Maduro. So I want to read you this from the Daily Signal, because all of these things moving around like the Gerald Ford in the ocean, this is not just by chance. Amid growing tensions, President Donald Trump says Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro would like to talk, and the U.S. might agree. I'll talk to anybody. We'll see what happens, Trump told reporters Sunday night. Trump made the comments only hours after Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced the U.S. is designating a prominent Venezuelan criminal cartel as a foreign terrorist organization. Maduro, according to Marco Rubio, is the head of the Cartel de los Soles, which translates into the Cartel of the Suns. The Daily Signal depends, this is what they have said. Headed by an illegitimate Nicolas Maduro, the group has corrupted the institutions of government in Venezuela and is responsible for terrorist violence conducted by and with other designated foreign terrorist organizations, as well as for trafficking drugs into the United States and to Europe, Rubio wrote on X Sunday. The Daily Signal has reported. The designation provides the U.S. with additional means to curtail support and operations of terrorist organizations, in this case, Cartel de los Soles. Tensions between the U.S. and Venezuela have been growing in recent months, largely over drug smuggling out of the South American country. And now the U.S. has moved the USS Gerald R. Ford, the world's largest and most advanced aircraft carrier, into the Caribbean Sea. Meantime, ... Over the weekend, Maduro addressed a crowd at a political rally in Venezuela and spoke of peace with the U.S. before breaking into John Lennon's Imagine. This is so weird. So the U.S. has not carried out any direct strikes on Venezuela, but in October, Trump said the U.S. would consider such a strike. The Trump administration has given the CIA permission to conduct covert operations in Venezuela, the president confirmed last month. The U.S. has carried out about 20 strikes on drug boats in the Eastern Pacific and the Caribbean Sea in recent months. And the U.S. Southern Command announced the most recent strike in the Eastern Pacific happened 2 days ago. Intelligence confirmed the vessel was involved in illicit narcotics smuggling, transiting along a known narco trafficking route, carrying narcotics. And then President Trump said this, which I thought was very interesting. So he's in the Oval Office. This is yesterday. He's got that hoarse voice because obviously he's been talking too much. But he's asked by a reporter if President Trump would strike Mexico or Venezuela to deal with the drug labs in order to stop the flow of drugs. And I'm not so sure Nicolas Maduro or Claudia Sheinbaum of Mexico was prepared for this answer.
Also potentially launching strikes in Mexico or putting American troops or American personnel into Mexico to deal with drugs.
Would I launch strikes in Mexico to stop drugs? It's okay with me. I've been speaking to Mexico, They know how I stand. We're losing hundreds of thousands of people to drugs. So now we've stopped the waterways, but we know every route. We know every route. We know the addresses of every drug lord. We know their address. We know their front door. We know everything about every one of them. They're killing our people. That's like a war. Would I do it? I'd be proud to. I'd probably go into Congress and say, hey, and you know what? The Democrats and the Republicans would both agree, unless they're crazy. Exactly how they get their things here, how they get the drugs here, fentanyl, cocaine. Colombia has cocaine factories where they make cocaine. Would I knock out those factories? I would be proud to do it personally. I didn't say I'm doing it, but I would be proud to do it because we're going to save millions of lives by doing it.
You know, and it's interesting. It is number one on President Trump's website, DonaldJTrump.com. The number one agenda item of this president is to stop the flow of drugs into this country. And he just told all of the Mexican cartels, he just told Tren de Aragua and all of the other dirtbags who have come into our country to continue with illegal aliens and commercial driver's licenses and perhaps even Antifa on the ground acting as the distributors. I know where you are. I know where you live. I know what your front door looks like. It won't take much to neutralize you. It's like what he said, Brock. Do you remember when Trump was sitting down with Byron Donalds and Wesley Hunt? And Wesley Hunt says was it he who took out the picture, the satellite photograph? And I think it was of like
Soleimani's house.
It was Soleimani's. It was Soleimani's house. It was a satellite image. And Wesley Hunt was sitting there at some high stakes meeting with ISIS and what have you. And he takes out of his pocket, puts down on the table, satellite image of the dude's house or where he was staying, kind of slid it across the table. We know everything. So you're either going to stop or we're going to make you stop. Like Iran, you're either going to stop with the uranium and the enrichment and all the nuclear dreams, or we're going to make you. So we're going to make you do a Luke Skywalker, hit the button, make it go.
It's not a how you're going to stop. It's not if you're going to stop. It's how you're going to stop. You're going to do it, or we're going to do it for you.
It's one or the other. You either get to carry on and go live your life and hopefully grow old and die of natural causes, or we just happen to have the USS Gerald Ford parked right here off of your. It's beautiful this time of year in the Caribbean, I understand. Just kind of hunkered down, watching, paying attention. Maduro caught it loud and clear. We might be interested in talking to you. Really? Claudia Sheinbaum, her whole country now is in a revolution because the young generation knows she's in bed with the cartels, allegedly. So Donald Trump single-handedly by saying, you know what, not on my watch. I will not have a legacy as a president, leaving to my beautiful grandchildren a drug-addled America. And any country that wants to do that, and any governor, Katie Hobbs and others who aren't hearing me, you probably ought to. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, when all else fails, you know you got to claim one thing, either death threats or racism. And the racism card just got pulled in Minneapolis as things are going to hell in a handbasket. You got to hear this story. It is ridiculous and, of course, predictable. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. You know, why don't I don't see a whole lot of like benefit to these foreign people coming into our country. Like, what are they bringing?
It's what they're getting.
Right? What are they bringing with them? Are they bringing this rich, vibrant culture of inclusion, or is it Sharia law where women are clitorectomized and, you know, don't have any freedom? I don't know. It's a valid question. I'm super fussy today. There's not a whole lot going on, and so I have a lot of opportunity to be angry and share my frustration with you. And it's kind of dangerous. There's a lot of talking, and I apologize for that. But I'm not done yet because the Disc Institute of Pittsburgh. It's a very special place to Brock and me. We're obviously friends with the owner and his wife and their team, but we've actually been in Dr. Rafferty's offices and we've walked through, and it's people, instead of choosing spinal surgery for your bulging or herniated discs, and sometimes that's the only course of correction. Instead of that, though, people choose intra-disc neutrosis, which is this non-surgical treatment that Doc Rafferty has really masterminded. And it allows you to go through a therapy for an hour a day, multiple times a week, multiple weeks at a time. So let's just say 8 to 10 weeks. So on the one side, you've got a time commitment. You have to be here. So it is really only for certain people if you can make it happen. But to have your discs grow back and to not be in pain anymore, I would move mountains to do that. 100%. I've watched my parents agonize. I've watched my father-in-law, who's, I don't necessarily know if it's a disc thing, but when you have back problems, it affects you big time. PittsburghDiscInstitute.com. Call 412-906-9600. PittsburghDiscInstitute.com. Who would be calling me? Citizens.
Again?
Yes. This is the shirt I usually spill all over. So I'm feeling pretty good right now that I haven't botched it. Last time I wore it, I think, one of the last times, you and our friend Diane and I went out for lunch, and I think everything I put in my mouth dropped onto my shirt. And I was like, I'm really not a slovenly person, but I look like a freaking hot mess.
Oh, but you forgot the beginning of the story.
I walked into the bathroom, and I just literally took water and was like, yes, I was making fun of how sloppily he eats, and so I was giving him extra napkins. Like, I've seen you eat, and it was all over me.
I've seen you eat. All right, so I'm curious. Do you want, what would you rather have first, a cartoon mug or a throat punch mug? That's my question to you guys, because that's the decision we have to make.
It's cartoon.
It's cartoon?
It's not even a debate. Throat punch can be any day, but I want to see what this looks like. Okay. You know, I want to see it on something, and then
on a mug.
But I mean, also on a new kind of a tumbler, maybe not one that's, $50. Maybe it's a taller, more slender one that you had mentioned. Maybe it's a different shape. I don't know. I think if ultimately we do shirts, we do mugs, we do the Second Amendment gifts. We'll have to come up with something else, but we have something in the hopper. Brock does.
We'll find out soon enough.
If it works.
If it works, it's a great idea.
It is a great idea. You do have great ideas. I will give you that. How are the Rumbles? 3.43. That's respectable. Right? Well, welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. So Trump in the Oval Office says, you know what? I would be honored to obliterate any drug den, any drug manufacturing plant, any place, anywhere, anytime. Absolutely. Would I do it? I didn't say I would do it, or I am going to do it. But do I love the sound of it? Yeah, I do. How about the high-level meetings with Kash Patel and his Chinese counterpart in China? Agreeing to not make anymore the ingredients that go into fentanyl. It's not just the finished product, obviously. It's all he's made it perfectly clear. I'm coming for you. You're a foreign terrorist organization. Nicolas Maduro, I see you're the head of it. You, therefore, are a narco-terrorist. Claudia Sheinbaum, you are a narco-governor, a narco-president of a state or of a country, Mexico. Everybody seems to know what's going on. So do you know what is going on in Minneapolis? Oh, what a nightmare. So apparently there is a robust Somalian population in Minneapolis. And there have been a slew of news stories out of Minnesota detailing rampant fraud of state welfare programs, including the COVID-era Feeding Our Future scheme, housing fraud scandal, and Medicaid scams as well. And now community organizations are preparing to play the racism card in response to these multiple investigations. Like, we're stealing from people and lying through our teeth, but we're dark, and so I'm going to call you racist. That's gross. How about you just don't break the law? Don't try to use your skin color to weasel out of culpability for being a scumbag. $300 million, $250 million feeding our futures. Can you imagine concocting a scheme where you lied so overtly? Yeah, we're serving 40,000 meals a day. And it's like, no, you're not. You serve 12. Well, we just carried the 0. Wait, what? So now these community organizations are preparing to play this racism card in response to multiple investigations in Minneapolis, in Minnesota in general. And it's pretty wild. So this coalition of immigrant and minority-led nonprofits, community organizations, and small businesses will hold a press conference. And they did yesterday, 11 a.m., at the Minnesota Somali Community Center. Unbelievable. To address what they describe as harmful, politically motivated actions by state agencies and media narratives that are disproportionately targeted minority-led service providers. Well, how about you guys stop ripping off the system? How about you stop coming to America and stealing from the goodness and the kindness of the American people? How about don't even think about trying to call your skin color some kind of a crutch? Because we know better. On September 20th, the 56th person pled guilty to his role in the Feeding Our Future scam. Do you guys follow that? The large Somali community in and around Minneapolis stealing hundreds of millions of dollars meant to feed children during the pandemic. And it's pretty wild. Between 2021, you got to hear this, 2021 and the start of 2025, Minnesota's Housing Stability Services Program paid out over $320 million, even though the program's annual cost was budgeted at $2.6 million. So, whoa, wait a minute. Wait, you guys have a program called Minnesota's Housing Stability Services. And that budget, which is still a hell of a lot of money, $2.6 million. To do exactly what, we're not sure. Some wrapped up do-goodery. We're going to house people. We're going to make sure people have stable housing, whatever. Instead of spending $2.6 million, they spent $320 million. Are you out of your mind? Of course. The state also paused Medicaid payments to 14 providers and programs because of suspected fraud. The Minnesota Star Tribune reports that the audit alone is going to cost $2.3 million, but it does not report on the suspected dollar amount of fraud. According to one U.S. attorney, Minnesota may have lost, you ready for this, $1 billion to fraud. And so what ends up happening? Oh, kind of like in Chicago. What? Honey, our property taxes came. What? A $2,000 property tax increase? So this is where we are, and it's always curious where these centers of malfeasance and fraud and corruption are. And now the Somalis have taken a page out of, I don't know, which book to cry racism. We're being targeted. No. You're being found out and exposed. It's all connected, ladies and gentlemen. Open borders, NGOs, cartels, right? Human trafficking, commercial driver's licenses, all of it. Election fraud, January 6th, stolen election. How far do we need to go? Does COVID fit in? I'm sure it does. Sure it does. We're paying attention. You're supposed to be paying attention to Jeffrey Epstein, so don't take your eyes off that prize. Right. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, how about we talk about this? It is a race to the bottom. Is Los Angeles going to be the next to elect a Mamdani-ish mayor. A Democrat socialist taking on Karen Bass, who's just a feckless communist. Which is worse? I don't know. You decide. Next. I'll be right back.
We'll try to have mugs out at the beginning of the year. I just think we're too close to Christmas right now to design and have down and be able to ship. Problem is everybody wants something different. We've had people ask for North is still North mugs, which love the saying, live by the saying. And that's why I thought putting Wendy's cartoon on one side, North is still North on the other. But maybe tumblers. Vicky, what's my favorite Thanksgiving? Eating. Is there Thanksgiving traditions? No, we've worked the last 4 Thanksgivings, so I think it's just eating. I love turkey. I love all the trimmings that come along with the turkey. Except my wife always makes this carrot souffle, and they eat that. Yeah, salty dog. That's actually not a bad idea, but once again, trying to get it all done around the holidays is a problem. Even people that own businesses have things to do, and so hopefully by February, maybe that's the mark we try to hit, is hopefully by February we can have all that stuff out. The ordering is the hardest part, trying to figure out how much to order, which then ordering it and getting it in and then getting it done.
Jeepers.
It's not a quick process.
You know what I have?
Now
oh,
what?
Wait, I just pulled out my thing. I have a headache.
It's probably from all that seafood you ate last night.
No, it's probably. No, where did my thing go? Uh-oh.
Do you need some?
No, thank you.
Do you need me to come look at that gold coin? See if it says CC on it?
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I don't see it. You should probably take it into your studio and see if you can see.
I see a 9. Oh, wait.
Stop it. Can you imagine if I was sitting on a coin that was $100,000? I'd be like, That would be the fun part of coin collecting, where you're like, I don't know what this is. And it's like, bing, 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 bing. It's some rare, only minted 4 of them. And you're like, oh my gosh. Mm-hmm.
I'd retire.
You would retire?
No.
No, you wouldn't. That is just neat. But mine says AU, which isn't that gold? That's gold 58. So I want to see if it, let me see. 1878, gold, What is it called? Liberty Head Double Eagle.
I just hope you don't have a accident on the way out today.
Gold Liberty $20.
I might have to host the show tomorrow if Wendy has an accident.
Double Eagle. Wait a minute. AU 58. What does that mean? Oh. Let me see.
Killing it on Facebook with 9 people.
Coins in AU 58 condition show very slight wear.
Yes.
And retain much of their original mint luster. Coins from the San Francisco Mint marked S generally fall within this range. Prices vary. So it says recent auction and sale data show a graded AU 58 selling for prices around $3,500 to $3,700.
It's almost December 12th. That's all I'm saying.
Isn't that special?
Happy birthday to Brock.
Program. So all the stuff that is connected, including the open border, including the 20 to 30 million people who came across, including the other governments, including Mexico, Guatemala, Colombia, Venezuela, Cuba, getting rid of their worst of the worst and sending them our way. All of the drug running, the cartels who were behind the trafficking up through the Darien Gap and otherwise, the travel advisors helping parents take their children and guide them to the promised land. All of the NGOs, the non-government organizations that had money, the Catholic Church, come, we'll help you. All of it connected to USAID, right? Got to have a never-ending gravy train of cash if you're going to do this whole global compact on migration thing, right? That the blessing of the Catholic Church, really? That's weird. All of the drugs in our communities and the homeless and the commercial driver's licenses and all of the Democrats, socialists who are now running for office. See, this is the greatest time because you've got a generation of young, by and large, white girls, young white ladies, liberals, who are off their total whacked out off their rockers. And they're like, I love universal daycare. That's free. I love the bus. Let's ride the bus. It's free. I think rent control is fabulous. And that all food should be monitored by the government and price controls. Say what? They've never watched a movie about another government in another country going down because of communism or socialism? Apparently not, because apparently there's now a democratic socialist who's running to challenge Karen Bass in Los Angeles. Karen Bass, a known communist, isn't she in love with, what is it, Cuba? I think she's totally in love with Cuba. She was the one. So wasn't it, what's his face? Tim Walz was into China and then she's into Cuba. I think that's kind of how it goes. So redstate.com asks this: will Los Angeles be the next city to elect a Democratic socialist mayor? Karen Bass gets a challenger. Oh, my. Let's see what her name is. Ray Huang. She's tossing her hat into the ring to challenge Karen Bass, a Democrat who was in Ghana Despite warnings of dangerous fire conditions when the massive January blazes that wiped out huge swaths of the city broke out. Since then, little rebuilding has been accomplished under her tenure. Is anybody out there surprised? Did you guys expect that the Palisades, folks in the Palisades, were all of a sudden going to be treated differently than the people in Lahaina, where just hundreds of children disappeared? People just disappeared. And like the official death toll is like 4. They're like, really? It wasn't that bad. And you're like, well, what about the 500 people that nobody's seen again? Well, we can't confirm that. Oh. It's almost what they wanted to do is they wanted to take really nice real estate that's super expensive that a lot of wealthy people have or generationally has been in the family lineage, as in the case of Lahaina for whatever, 150 years, right? We're going to take it from you. We're going to do it. We're going to give it to other people. And that's how it's going to be the way it's going to be. It's not even that they're dragging their feet handing out building permits. They're never going to build their homes in the Palisades again. They have been eliminated. Low-income housing is going to come in, and maybe, if we're lucky, 15-minute cities. Oh, can't wait. They seem just so convenient. So here comes Ray Huang. Like Mamdani and the whack job Wilson, who just won, what's her name? Katie Wilson, the 43-year-old woman who just became Seattle's new socialist mayor, whose parents in New York still give her money. Like, what? Huang is offering lots of free stuff. I think it's good free stuff, because it always works out, right? I'm excited and very humbled to announce that I'm running for mayor of Los Angeles, the second largest city in our nation, Huang wrote on her Instagram account Saturday. After over 20 years of learning and leaning, I should say, into my call to serve God. Super. Through social justice work and organizing. Super. Another community organizer. Has she ever met a budget? Has she ever balanced a budget? Has she ever met payroll? Has she ever done taxes? Has she ever tackled monster problems? Has she ever managed the unions? Shut up, Wendy. She's a community organizer like Barack Obama. Got it. A 43-year-old community organizer and Democratic Socialists of America member. For the love of all that is holy, wrote that her campaign will focus on universal housing. In the Palisades. Free transportation. Climate resiliency and affordability. Issues that resemble New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani's initial campaign. The LA Times is calling her, quote, virtually unknown and a long shot to win. Brock, you want to put a friendly wager on this? We got a gold coin. I'll put on the wager that this virtual unknown Democratic Socialist is going to come out in this race at the end, the wire. Watch, here we go. What do you want to bet that she beats Karen Bass? See, this isn't the only place where it's going on. Hakeem Jeffries, you hear about this? Do you want to take my bet or no?
I'll take that bet because we know that California elections are rigged.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm thinking Karen might have something to say about that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we also have a Democratic Socialist New York City councilman filing paperwork to run against Hakeem Jeffries. I mean, it's funny. And then you're like, geez, please tell me your constituents aren't that stupid. But they are, right? Just the News reporting, a Democrat Socialist New York City councilman has filed paperwork to run against House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, who's just a blithering clodhopper. Chiose. I don't care if I'm mispronouncing that. I don't care. Name is C-H-I. Chiose represents the city's 36th district, which includes North Crown Heights, Bedford. In the New York City Council, it's a position he's held since 2021. New York Post reported last week that this guy's preparing to challenge Hakeem Jeffries against the wishes of New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani. There's only one Democrat Socialist who's allowed here, and it's me, not you. Jeffries is focused on battling Donald Trump ending the Republican shutdown of the federal government, and addressing the crushing GOP healthcare crisis. First of all, you guys are the idiots who passed Obamacare. What was that number again of Republicans who voted for it? Oh, that's right. That was zero. Oh, that would be zero for our non-Spanish speaking friends, right? The bit of this guy, Ose, I don't even know how you say it, as other younger Democratic candidates have launched campaigns for seats currently held by older Democrats, such as Representative Nancy Pelosi of California, Jan Schakowsky of Illinois, Steve Cohen of Tennessee, and others. Well, you've got that, but I mean, it can't be that bad. I mean, voting stupid just feels right sometimes, doesn't it? Another one bites the dust. Now Seattle has a Democratic Socialist, Mamdani-like mayor. You know, the problem with this, and we can sit here and have fun with it to a degree. It's not funny. It shows the degree to which you have a malleable, brainwashable, indoctrinatable, groomable, young, female, liberal population. And I don't know where they fell out of the bus. I don't know what happened along the journey where they detoured. Sort of like nobody knows what happened at the end of 2019 and beginning of 2020, where Thomas Crooks, even though Christopher Wray and the FBI had nothing on, I'm sorry, we have no digital footprint on this guy whatsoever. Nothing. It's so weird. He's just like this weird kid. He just wanted to kill Donald Trump. Really? Well, there was a pivot. There was a hard about face. So what was it? What was that? What was that secret sauce? I don't know. But unfortunately, this race to the bottom idea isn't a joke. It's like, how much do you have to lose? Do you want to be like Chicago that just got a 139% property tax increase? Because that be coming. Kathy Hochul in New York has already said we're not going to be able to make things free. So if we're going to deliver on Mamdani's promises, well, I guess you just do what? Raise taxes. You get to a point where you become Mexico. You get to a point when Generation Z in that country, who sees very clearly the corruption and the crime and the drugs and people getting disappeared and candidates who win elections getting assassinated, just like Charlie Kirk. You get enough young people to see it and enough young men who believe they're already not getting married and having kids. What have we to lose? Who then go on the offensive? Well, the good news is they will have defunded all of the police, but they will have a lot of social workers to tell them about what this and that, right? Let's all take a moment and breathe. It's crazy town, guys. And for a lot of these folks, Democrat socialists, this is the buzz. This is the new thing. It's the new shiny metal object. Barack Obama was able to use community organizing to his benefit. Watch out, because it's coming to a town near you. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, I've wondered this. Did you ever wonder what Barron Trump whispered to Joe Biden at Donald Trump's second inauguration, right? Looming over him, the 6'8" guy, shaking Joe Biden's hand and saying something to him that made Biden's face look almost shocked. What was it? Eric Trump knows next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. All right, now I want to know if my silver Donald Trump coin is worth anything. I mean, it is, because it's mine. But isn't that cool? I love it. I did. Thank you. While you were doing the pee-pee dance.
I didn't do a pee-pee dance. Did you see the story that I sent you about, I think it was Australia, they did a thing about asking your child to change them, not just changing them, but asking for permission? Did you happen to see that?
I don't understand what you mean. Asking for permission to do what?
Yeah, they said that in this study that you should ask your child, oh, do you need changed? Would you like me to change you? Instead of just going, you got a crappy diaper.
Wait a minute. You have to explain what the hell you're talking about. You're talking about changing their diapers.
I did send you the story. So
well, I
thought
did
you
it, but
might
no. But if I don't know what you're talking about, they don't know what you're
Yes,
talking
the
about.
poopy diapers, changing your kid's diaper.
Okay. I didn't know if you were talking about, do you want to change and become a toaster?
Oh, no.
Do you want to change and be a girl? That's what I thought. So you're supposed to ask your kid if they want their poopy
Yes.
butt wiped?
And then get them to agree to it. I'm like, what? Meanwhile, these children don't talk.
Yeah.
You're supposed to watch their facial expressions. And I'm like,
well, you know what? If you want to be a subscriber of that philosophy, Bill Gates has some bio milk to sell you. It's just like breast milk, except it's not. We're going to put some hormones and some synthetic things in it. It's going to be fabulous.
8 minutes.
Wow. Someone's trying to get out of work.
Right.
Oh, how'd we do so far? We got 6,900 hanging tight.
3-6.
We're crushing it on Facebook. 7 people. Hi.
And if you're on Facebook and say, where have you guys been? Rumble. We've been on Rumble.
Yes, we don't do Facebook.
You all know Facebook shut us down.
Yes.
Move to Rumble. Go to wendybellradio.com. You can see it there.
3.6. All right, let's see if we can get to 377. 170 people is a lot of people in the last push. But you know I like those numbers. I like 7s. Let's go. That'd be super duper. And then you could hit the follow button and push us ever closer to 75,000 follows. So, Brock, how many do we have? Did we get any today yet?
We are 60 away.
So we got 40 already today.
We got more than 40.
We're 60 away to what?
74.5. Or 74.6. 74.6.
Now you understand, guys. I get piecemeal information that's often...
Hey, listen.
It's dangling modifiers.
Could we get it by the end of the week is the question. This week. Not Thanksgiving.
That's what I'm hoping for. Hit the damn button.
Wait, let me get off screen so you can really...
No.
Go ahead.
Hit it!
Wow. That escalated.
Hey, I haven't seen Wayne on here lately. Has anybody seen him? Where are you at?
Where are you at?
That's how Brock talks.
Oh, you just said it, not me.
Because I was mocking you,
Dingleberry.
And looking at the Biden family or Kamala Harris's family and President Trump's family. But as a parent myself, I do believe that as parents, we are judged by the quality of the job we did. And it's hard. If you have a child who makes a detour and goes off the deep end, legitimately, is it your fault? I mean, I think that's negotiable. The answer is probably no. It sucks nevertheless. I mean, Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's family. I mean, think about how fragmented, how fudged up. His son, Beau, dies. And so Beau's wife, his widow, starts having sex with his brother. Like what? And then Hunter gets her, Haley, involved in crack. Like, it's just terrible. The whole thing. Ashley Biden, her diary, allegations of inappropriate showering with her dad. Like, ew. And that's just the stuff that we know. La, 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 right? And you look at Donald Trump. And as I watched the video of him that we played yesterday for you, of him announcing in 2015 that, yes, I'm running for president. He comes down the escalator with Melania, makes a bend in the lobby of the Trump Tower, walks onto a platform where there are flags everywhere and a podium and a microphone. And there is Ivanka, who looks stunning, always looks stunning, who is wearing a beautiful white dress, very appropriate, very business appropriate. Her hair is neatly pulled back in a low bun. She hugs her father, kisses his cheek. You know, there in the audience is Don Jr. and Eric Barron, who's just like a little ape at the time. If we're to judge people by their families, I mean, I don't think there's a competition. So when Barron Trump, the youngest child, at Trump's inauguration back in January, we watched the video. He walks over. I mean, the guy is looming. He's what, 6'8"? He's just a giant. And he goes over to leaving President Joe Biden, and Harris is right next to him. And he shakes Joe Biden's hand and leans in and says something. And we're all like, what was that? What was that? And walks down a few rows and takes a seat next to his mom on the opposite side. And you could see Melania say, "What did you say?" And Barron says something, and people were trying to read it. Nobody could tell. And then finally, who we got? Here we have Eric Trump coming out on the Megyn Kelly show, and he's talking about Barron, and he's talking about what he said. Like, I wanted him to be like, "We've got you dead to rights, you old man. We know you lost. You feel it." Right? What did he say? Because Biden's face, he almost looked stunned, like he'd seen a ghost. What did Barron say? Mystery solved. Listen.
I'm the nicest Trump.
I think so. You might be.
You know what? I think Tiffany's the nicest Trump, actually.
She might be, yeah. Well, of the male Trumps, we don't know Barron as well.
Yeah, well, Don's kind of a jerk, right? My father's pretty tough. It's
You're all fighters.
And Barron's young, right? He's not like old enough to be a jerk and get away with it, right? Like you'd really. If you were a jerk at 18 years old, you're just kind of like you're like pompous and like a prick,
well,
right? So
Barron's the quietest Trump. We don't know him as well.
He's a little shy.
Yeah.
But yet Barron's smart as hell. And he's got a. Do you remember that whole controversy where he went up to Biden, right?
Yes.
And they had all these like lip reading experts, and they just and they're like, Barron just told Biden to go F himself. I'm like. So one night, I'm very close to Barron. I love Barron to death, right? One night I call Barron. I go, buddy, look, what did you actually say? And he goes, it was something so polite. I almost wouldn't even get it right, but like, congratulations and, best of luck to you or something like that. Something very respectful. And I said that. Patrick Bet David, I was on his show. Yeah. And he goes, did Barron really tell Biden to go F himself? I'm like, he just doesn't have that in him. Like, he's a nice guy. He's probably thinking it. He definitely has it up here, but like, he's too courteous to actually go out there and say it. But Barron's a really nice kid.
I thought that was great. I mean, and leaning in for him to be able, for Barron Trump, who watched what happened to his dad. He was home. He was home with his mom and his dad during all of that. During everything. Of all of the kids, he was the one who was still home with his mom and dad. For that young man to walk over to Joe Biden, to grasp his hand, to shake it, to bend down, and to say to Joe Biden, good luck, best wishes. And then to take his spot next to Melania, it stunned Joe Biden because he would have you believe, or Democrats would, that that's not the case. I thought it was cute. And it makes me like Barron Trump even more. Apple tree. Distance, not far. I wanted to put it out there. I thought it was a great way to end the show. So thank you for hanging with me. I kind of, in my mind's eye, wanted him to say something mean. Wouldn't be a Trump if he did. Love you guys. Have a great day. Thanks for being part of the Wendy Bell radio program. We'll see you tomorrow, 21 hours. Peace.